Welcome, everybody, to a very special episode 39 of the Huber Rebels podcast. My name is Ethan.
My name is Jordan.
And we have some very special news that we're going to talk today about. Jordan,
we're getting married. You and I, we're tying the knot.
I mean, that did happen today also. And that's why it's such a big day.
Socially distanced. We couldn't kiss, but we made it happen. Finally, we've been waiting so long.
It's actually a three-way marriage.
Is Maya cool with that? Is it three-way or is it like you're the middle point?
Well, unfortunately, the third person isn't a person.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
It's a PlayStation, and it's not just any PlayStation. It's the fifth PlayStation.
Numero 5,
and
I'll be honest with you. When I first saw it, I envisioned myself holding it for the first time, and I just thought I would cradle it for a little bit.
Do we want to jump into the end of the show?
No. I'm just saying. I'm thinking maybe
we do that. We jump into the end of the show, and then we run it back from the beginning.
Sure.
I've got the list of everything, and we can, because I've been literally dying to.
It's like in those movies when they're like, "How did I get here?" and then whoop, go back in time.
Let me run you through how this went. We've talked a lot about, are they going to show it? Are they not going to show it? I know I've been leaning towards they're not going to show it. I think because if you go back in history, 2013 February, that was the first ever showing of the PlayStation 4, and it was only games. I recently rewatched Digital Foundry, like reviewing it or watching it and going through it, because I wanted to be like, what was the last one like? And it was great, but also kind of slow. A lot of executive people talking on stage, and they did not show the console. They showed the controller, and we've seen the controller going into today.
Right.
But they were focused on games and concepts, and this is what it's going to be. And messaging wise, that's everything they've been saying up to this point. Now,
the controller, the first one they showed us was primarily white. So I feel there was a lot of speculation, like, is the console going to be white? Is it going to be two-tone? Or like, what are they going to... I guess the first one was gray, right?
First console was gray, yeah.
So it wouldn't like completely break the continuity to go with a different color palette.
No, and they've done, I mean, if you really look at it, there's been so many special edition consoles. The PSX,
sure,
which was a special limited PlayStation 2 that they like co-produced with somebody, and it had like a bunch of other features, was white. I believe. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure that was white. And they dropped the controller out of nowhere, and it was so shocking. Not only like the innovations in the controller, but the design, the look, the color, that I think it got everybody's wheels spinning like, whoa, what's going on here? Something's going on here. But still, like, you don't know until you see it.
No. You can always speculate, but like you doubt yourself, you doubt other people, you trust other people, and then you doubt yourself. It's just like you keep going through this cycle. It's like I don't even know. I thought I knew, but now I have no idea of anything anymore, and that's the best. I feel like that's the best way to go into something like this.
Oh yeah, I love it, and because it's just infinity is possible, and I just like to leave myself open to anything.
That's a great tagline.
Infinity
infinity is possible.
There you go.
That's really cool.
Huber Rebels, infinity is possible.
I like it.
And so the main difference between that February event and this one was that one was in February. They then at E3 that year showed the console with a bunch more demos and some more concrete details. They also showed price and I believe release date.
At E3, you mean?
At E3.
Yeah. Which is essentially what this was?
No, like it's so bizarre.
Timing wise, yes.
Timing wise, yeah, this is literally the week of E3.
Yeah,
This would have been 3 days ago on Monday in an alternate timeline. However, Sony pre-pandemic had already announced they were not going to be at E3.
true.
And so we're forever going to be left. I mean, maybe one day we'll find out, like, what was the original plan? When was all of this going to roll out originally? I think this may have been the best accident, and only because of how Sony has handled this and executed this. It's absolutely. This was one of the best presentations.
The production of it was phenomenal.
Maybe the best presentation I've ever seen. Production value and pacing, and there's not a misstep.
Given the circumstances, or just period?
Period.
I mean, do you like having people live on a stage to like introduce things, or sometimes that can be awkward, right? Like people can flub lines, or they can like misread cues from the audience. Like this was perfectly planned out. They had plenty of time to do it and edit it and make sure the timing was right on everything. Like it was gorgeous.
You missed the audience. That's really the key component. And the E3 2013, where they did show off the PlayStation, and that's one of the most epic moments in gaming history, where, Microsoft came out with some of their details, and then Sony scrambled and put together all of these slides to basically emphasize things that I don't think they were going to talk about in regards to used games and online DRM. And rewatching that moment, I don't know if you remember, Jack Tretton, who was in charge at the time, just standing on stage being like, you can just share your games, you own them. And he would just stand there then for like 10 seconds, and the crowd was just screaming. Like, it was insane.
Yeah. And that's from what year?
2013.
I definitely don't remember. I don't even know if I would have been watching like live at that time, which is crazy.
We'll have to go back so you can see it. I will never forget that. And it was so the competition between them and Xbox, because Xbox had just gone the day before and totally flubbed the Xbox One unveiling. They were getting ripped apart about all these features that they wanted to put in. And it's such a product of the times, because PS4 eventually kind of took some of that stuff, but not quite. But it was just, it's execution. It comes down to marketing, execution, and the timing of it. And they have nailed this PS5 cycle of news and release to the point that everybody is like just dying for anything.
Well, and in a lot of ways by showing restraint too, like by not giving too much or by spreading it too thin. Like I feel like they edged people along for just the perfect amount of time,
and everybody's doing the work for them.
Yeah,
they're not putting anything out, and everybody's still talking about the PS5,
clamoring for it. Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah.
And so this all led us to today, not really knowing what was going to happen, other than them saying this: you're going to see the future. You're going to see the future today. We're going to show you what's next. We're going to blow your minds, basically. And they proceeded to spend an hour doing just that, and then culminating in one of the greatest moments I'll ever remember, that with the unveiling of the design.
Oh, it's so sexy. Oh,
It's
man,
perfect. I think it's perfect.
the blue LEDs are awesome.
I loved the PS4 design.
Yeah,
I think it was perfect for when it came out.
me too.
The Slim made sense. And then the Pro, I was like, oh, you're just a stacked Slim. I was like, okay. Like, it didn't excite me by any means. I think it was a smart design. It's a good design. By no means a bad design. But it was just kind of like, okay.
I'll be honest, like the 4 might still, and for a long time, be my favorite.
The OG4.
Yeah. I love just the like nice angles of it, and it's still a box, but it has like those slants on it, and it's very sleek. And besides the fact that it just sounds like a freaking jet engine nowadays, 7 years later, like I love that hunk of metal or plastic. I love it so much. This one will have to grow on me. It looks great, obviously, but I do love the 4, but man, dude, I didn't know what to expect. I had seen tiny little glimpses. I asked you, I'm like, was it in that thumbnail, or like, have I seen this? Someone from work, a person who we don't talk about video games with, sent it to both me and someone who plays Xbox. So literally no reason for the three of us to be talking about PlayStation, but she sent me a picture of it. And I saw, I'm like, nope, nope, nope.
This was a moment today. I'm noticing more and more people that I don't expect to talk about video games talking about PS5. Like, I still don't understand why they don't have a PS4. And how do you even know about the PS5? It's not even being talked about. But somehow people are aware.
There was someone else at work. I told her, I'm like, oh yeah. She's like, what are you gonna do after work? I'm like, I'm gonna go watch the PlayStation unveiling. She's like, oh yeah, that was today, huh? She does not play video games at all.
It's crazy. I guess it's just totally become a part of the culture now.
Yeah.
It's just interwoven itself. And I think that's the thing that I am reminded of so often is, I mean, I've been playing video games, as have you, as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
And I never knew it was such a niche thing for all these years. And looking back at the numbers, it was an incredibly niche thing when we were kids, when we were younger. And Brandon actually texted me today. He's like, how about that PS5? And I'm just like, okay, like, yeah, this is insane.
What does he have? Does he have a PS4?
He finally got a Switch.
Okay.
After years and years and years. I remember when we were kids, he had an N64, and that was probably his last console. And then he got a Switch. And he's like kind of slowly been getting, I think he'll get a PS5. I think there's a good chance that happens.
I feel like a lot of people will get one of these, either the PlayStation or the Xbox. But like, I feel like these are the ones that will get the casual, not even the casual gamers, like the non-gamers. Like, it's a piece of equipment that you need to have potentially.
There's something happening, and it's been slowly growing. I had a feeling this last generation was kind of the smoothing phase. You know, everything was so kind of crazy before, 360 versus PS3 and all that crazy, like the console wars, and it was kind of looked down on, but like if you were in it, you loved it. And then this last gen has been kind of more mature, I would say.
Yeah.
Is a good word. And, games are establishing a look where it's not like, oh, that's just a game where you just run around and do that. They're becoming more cinematic. They're becoming more mature. They're becoming more evolved and
telling more of a story.
It's all improving. And this is now putting the technology at a point where it's leading.
Yeah.
And established, and apparently has the mind share of the world. And if you include cloud gaming, which is supposed to put it in billions of people's pockets, we're going to see more of a shift and more of a transition. I'm a little scared because I need this day one.
Yes.
People.
It's weird because, like, I wouldn't say the movie industry is hurting right now, but I feel like it's definitely slipped backwards a little bit more than Hollywood used to be like golden, like everyone, it was just everything.
It was the thing.
But like movie theaters are hurting. Like, who even knows if some of them are going to open anymore? But
you can't produce a movie 6 feet apart.
Right.
It's harder to do that. As hard as it is for all these developers to go home and make a game, you can do that.
Yeah, they're still chugging along, and they're still presumably going to release this thing on schedule, as well as all the games that they announced, some of which are coming out at the end of this year that like blew people's minds.
It is they've said it's unaffected by the pandemic.
That's crazy.
For production. They said Jim Ryan said the effects will be felt more next year.
Sure.
And the year after that. But we'll get through that. It'll be fine.
But video games are such a perfect thing to do when you have to stay at home. Like they're just the perfect at home companion comfort.
Hey, and if you're tired of being stuck at home,
Tool.
you want to escape to some beautiful world, go play a game.
Exactly. I feel like it's so much more immersive than a movie, and I love movies. That's coming from me who adores movies, but you can spend upwards of 60 hours in some of these worlds instead of just 2.
And it's your movie.
Right.
Which is insane. You don't always want that, but hey, there's literally now a game for everything.
Yeah, it's a story that you can sort of write yourself. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe this thing. We're talking in words, but I mean, you go online and look at it. When it got to the end of this thing, so as we said, we didn't know if they were going to show it. The only thing I was like, they'll have like a one more thing at the end and mic drop it and walk away. And the only reason I thought they could show it is because it's now June, so it's not February. There's not a lot of time left. These things are going into production, which means leaks could happen, and you can't risk a leak.
You want to control that
moment.
Yeah.
Now, 6 months ago is when Xbox showed off theirs, and I think that was
crazy
smart for them because it was quiet, and they got to dominate that time.
It gives each of them their own like hunk of a moment, like Xbox got to have the first half of the year, the first quarter or whatever, and
PlayStation gets the next 10 years. No, I'm just kidding.
PlayStation's right now, and then they'll share it going into the holidays.
Yep, and I think it's perfect. So we're in June right now. Xbox now, Microsoft has their event scheduled for July. They can, take account for things, and hopefully they're going to have just as impressive showing. In July, it's a little different because of how established PlayStation is. They've put the work in with these studios over the last like generation and a half. Microsoft, I think, will get there, but this is PlayStation's moment to shine.
Yeah.
And the moment, when did you know they were showing it? I mean, immediately, because you knew it was going to come.
So they kept doing all those like really, really pretty like little transitions.
I want that just in my life somehow.
Yeah, like I want a wallpaper of all those stitched together, which I'm sure is definitely possible to create. But once it went on a little bit longer and it started to kind of form, a tower looking shape, I'm like, bring it on. It was such a cool unveiling too.
Oh, it was cool. So when I saw the bubbles, I was like, something's happening. Like this could morph into something.
Yeah.
The first ball also looked like the PS9, which I'm still waiting for. The orb.
Why is that a thing?
It's from a PS2 commercial.
Is it really?
Yeah. We'll look at that.
What year would that be? Let's just say it's every 7 years. I don't know why I pulled up the calendar. So 2027 would be 6.
Let's say 30 years from now.
34 would be 7.
2050.
41.
I'm going to say 2050.
50, 55 or so. 50. Wow.
Yeah.
It won't even be a piece of hardware at that point.
Well, you'll see. It's basically not. It's like a virtual world thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, which they were smart to do 9 on that number and not PS5.
Right.
Regardless, I immediately stood up off the couch and I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. And you're waiting, and it's like they keep teasing you, and the walls are going, and it's going back and forth, and you're like, where is it? What does it look like? Where is it? Is it up? And then that's when I'm like, is it going to be vertical, like Xbox?
Right.
Is it going to be flat? What's it going to be? And it kind of fades out, and then it fades back in, and it forms the edges, and then they tweak the colors into LEDs that form the LEDs of the middle.
Yep.
And they kind of zoom out, and you see the console, and I literally just like collapsed and fell back on the couch. I was like, oh my, it was so shocking.
Oh, it's
out
so
of
sexy.
Nowhere. It's so striking.
Yeah.
It's so different. And
so not symmetrical.
Or is it?
Depends on which one you get, maybe.
Excuse me? There's 2 of them? What? That they're announcing right now? I mean, it was just like, I felt like I was getting punched left and right.
Yeah.
We've got the console. which is like one we didn't even know we're seeing it. So now we've got the controllers, we've got the console, we've got a charging station, an official charging station for the controllers. Okay, getting that.
Do you think that comes with it?
No, you'll have to buy that separately.
Okay.
A camera, a new HD camera. I was like, okay, probably get that. A media remote, probably won't get that. New headset, which looks awesome.
Still probably won't get that.
Yeah, because I've already got good headphones.
I have my PlayStation 1. I never loved it that much.
No, I have a feeling these will be better.
Sure.
But I did get the wireless PS3 headphones because I was in college apparently when that was a thing. How? 2 generations? What's happening?
I know. I love the textured
yes.
or is it just on the inside maybe?
It's the same as the controller. I don't know if it's on the inside and the outside, but I love the transfer of the design language between the devices. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I mentioned how Brandon texted me, so he just had he just became a dad.
Oh, really?
And yeah, last week.
That's awesome.
Congrats. But I had this thought. I was like, wow, that child was just born at the PS5.
Yeah.
And somehow we were around for the 1.
When did that come out?
95?
Pretty much almost me.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, and so it's like I remember when people had those. Like, I don't remember the hype of it.
Yeah.
That other people would have experienced, but it existing, and then it's just crazy how we've lived through all of these consoles to get to this point. With they're in the year 3000. We're still in the year 2000.
I will admit I'm a little bummed because I didn't see what it looked like, but I knew that it was white. Just based off the things that I had seen, I was like, crap. I kind of wish I didn't know that. I had a hunch.
I knew it was, I didn't know, but I figured it would be white off the controller, and I think that's part of the reason they showed the controller first, because had they not shown the controller first, to just mentally, so that it was just slightly less of a shock.
It's like a middleman. You're like, well, it matches the controller. That looks nice. Yeah. Instead of, wait, that's not supposed to be white.
Exactly, which so many, and even still, and I do want to address this, apparently the internet is just ripping it apart. And I saw the best tweet that somebody said. They're like, hey, legitimately, what do you want it to look like where you wouldn't rip it apart?
Right.
Because the reality is, no matter what it looks like,
no one can agree.
People are going to just bitch about it. No, it could be objectively perfect, which I would argue this is, because it's not supposed to look like anything.
It's what they want it to be. I want it to look like what they want it to be.
Exactly. And so I just ignore that noise.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. I think people making jokes, I think that's funny.
Sure.
Just to be clever, like comparing the Series X to a refrigerator or something.
Yeah, memes are great. And they acknowledge that.
Yeah, it doesn't actually look like a refrigerator. That console is gorgeous, and I cannot wait to have it sitting here right next to my TV. The going thing is that this one looks like a router. Everyone's saying that like it's a bad thing. Routers are some of the coolest looking devices out there.
Yeah, and you'd be useless without one. So
exactly. But I think we've officially reached this meeting point of console and PC.
Yeah.
Where these consoles are now more powerful than PCs or at the leading edge. Obviously, that'll change over the next couple years, but like that's never happened before. Every time a console launches, it's a couple years behind.
Right.
And
you think they're already at the same point now?
Oh, yeah.
Even? Yeah.
PlayStation 5, at least, is changing the design of storage. True. PC has to catch up to it now.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Because in a way, don't they kind of use, typically in the past, don't they use sort of like a scaled version of PC tech, just scaled down to a console design, and now they're just designing their own thing?
Microsoft's done that. They were a PC company. Right. PlayStation finally did that with the last one, but like PS3 was Ken Kutaragi was like the genius mind of PlayStation. He was all about crazy proprietary technology that's like all doing all this wild stuff. but then it got too crazy for development to even make stuff. And so Mark Cerny has kind of taken the torch in that sense and has totally, I mean, we have him to thank at the end of the day. He's the system architect.
And they're redefining audio design. You know, like it's going to be like more than 3D audio. Like it's going to literally be in your head. I mean, that's not a thing anywhere.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I mean, we just barely got there with like Atmos and some of the other DTS.
But even still, like that's not specifically designed to your own ear.
Nope. And it requires a lot of custom tech, whereas what they said was this will be software side, hardware side, piped in through regular headphones or through your TV.
Oh, it's so cool.
I'm not ready for this. And then the controller, we can talk about the controller after. So I do want to ask, are you leaning towards one or the other?
Definitely, if I had to pick one, it would be disc, just because I know I will still always want to have at least some games physically.
Yeah.
And I don't want to screw myself out of being able to play those. I don't know for certain that I wouldn't get both at some point.
Yep. Literally, that was what I said. I was like, I'll get both.
Because depending on like living situations in the future, like maybe I need a couple just for streaming or playing movies or something. Like maybe if in the future I have a home theater, the disc one can be in there and then the digital one can be in my bedroom or something, and I can like watch the nice movies and play the massive games like with the disc or with the disc drive, and then just stream stuff with the other one. But first of all, disc, definitely.
I'm right there with you. I immediately was like, disc, 4K, Ultra HD, like you have access to all that stuff. Then I'm like, man, first of all, this is the first official all digital PlayStation console, home console. And
has Xbox done that? They have, right?
Yeah. Yep. They have an Xbox One S all digital edition.
Gotcha.
Would have been a crazy concept, 2013, for example, if they announced that. It shows how far things have come that I'm like even contemplating like, wait, which one? Sure. For me, the kicker came to backwards compatibility games.
Yeah, right.
And I have God of War, Spider-Man, etc., all on disc.
And I would imagine so many people have those too, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like the digital is just going to be for like new PlayStation people.
I'm also highly considering transitioning to digital, but steelbooks are just so cool.
Right? That's the thing. Like the major releases, your Last of Us's and God of War's, and like those are the ones you want to have on your shelf, not just a thumbnail on your screen.
So I'm getting the steelbook for Ghost, but I'm probably going to go digital for Last of Us.
Oh, I ordered the steelbook for Last of Us, and that's stupid considering I haven't even finished the first one. I feel like as a PlayStation fan, I'm going to beat The Last of Us before it comes out, and I want to pay respect to it in a way, like that I want to like own it like that. Because I don't own the first one. I have the first one on digital, so I want one of them.
That's fair. I haven't done it yet, so I may still. It's part of the reasons I have a gift card, but I may still do that if it's even still available. We're, like you mentioned, playing through that, and it's a lot of memories are rushing back, which is getting me hyped for this next one.
8 days,
which is hard to imagine, but. Even though Sony still has two absolutely major, biggest games of the generation coming out before this PS5 comes out, they got more to show.
3? No? Oh, no, Sony. Not Sony, but yeah, sorry. Sony only has 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk
is not just Sony. Yeah.
So we've gushed over the console. I don't know how much this thing's gonna cost. It doesn't matter to me. I know that's still going to be an important thing for some people.
That's what I was going to say too. Like even if it's $100 cheaper, that's not worth it to me to just save that money and lose the disc drive. Like I'll pay whatever it is to have the full max thing.
Do you have a prediction?
600.
Oof. I personally think they can never do that again
Yeah.
because of 2006.
True, that's true. You do say that they can take a loss, huh?
The rumor is that it costs $450 to produce.
Okay. Which one though? Probably the
I'm,
main one, right?
I'm thinking the main one. So I think it'll. I'm torn.
500?
I think it's going to be 550, but it could be 450, 500. It's going to be one of those.
I'm fine with that. I'm ready for that. Let's go.
Oh yeah, no, and for what this thing's going to be doing, um,
And do we have a
I,
price for Xbox yet or no?
no, and
Okay.
I don't know. That's going to be either 400 or 500. It'll
Okay.
be one of those. But the rumor is also that they have a Lockhart, which isn't necessarily just an all digital version, but a weaker version. That's been the rumor. So they could be able to hit a lower price point.
And do you assume that this digital PS4 PS5 will be the same
Oh, it's identical
power?
for sure,
Okay.
100%. The only difference is the disk drive.
That's
And I
pretty
love
cool.
that. I love that they're doing this. It's forward thinking, and that's what I was trying to say. Is like the fact I'm even considering this is crazy.
Do they lose money on making two different things? Like
No,
if you split you split your audience a little bit, like what if one is just
they,
wildly more successful than the other?
they've put the only difference is a disc or a digital. The
Sure.
reason you couldn't have done this before was uh, the digital platform was not as established. It is now
Very established.
established. It's
You
they've
could have a
taken control.
whole massive game library of just PlayStation Plus games.
Yeah, exactly. And while hard drive will be an issue, that doesn't make a difference between the two. You still have to install it even if you have the disc.
Right.
So it's literally just people who want to own it or don't have internet.
And does it run any faster off of a disc than download, or is it exactly the same there too?
With this architecture, it will all be installed onto the SSD to run at maximum speed. So it won't
Either way.
actually either way.
Okay.
Everything has to run off the SSD.
So really the only reason to get the disc drive, well, to get the disc drive is to play movies. That's a main thing too.
So, as you know, I recently, with weird timing, how this was not intentional timing.
Yeah.
Have come into through purchasing
Yes.
a 4K TV.
Yeah.
I didn't find one.
To just stumble upon you.
8 years since I got my last TV, and now the conference was streamed in 1080.
Yeah.
I'm now gonna be a 4K pusher.
I don't know why you wouldn't be.
I don't hear about it a lot. People are just like, it's good, but no, I'm like, no, it's worth it. It's worth every penny.
People
And
said the same thing about HD.
did that? What do you mean?
That like, why do you need to see the hot dog across the field?
Yeah.
Why do you need to see the color of that person's shirt? Like, what do you mean? You need to see everything. So people love HD now. They love Ultra HD, 4K. Like it's gonna just go exponentially into the future. Like people will eventually accept 4K as like the way everything needs to be.
I think it's just like you have to see it.
Yeah.
You have to see it to believe it. And
you have to, unfortunately, I feel like you have to experience it in your own living space too. Like it's more than just seeing it at Best Buy. You can see the best TV at Best Buy and be like, yeah, it looks nice.
this exceeded like what I've seen at Best Buy.
Right.
And
maybe at someone else's house too, but like just having it stood up there with compared to a bunch of other TVs, I feel like kind of diminishes it too.
I feel like the stuff they have on there always sucks.
Yeah.
Like very rarely does it look good. But now it was streamed in 1080. I did watch some 4K trailers after, and wow, because I am going to speak to that a little bit, and somehow, some way, we're gonna figure this out. But that I had a point here. I wasn't just so you mentioned 4K discs.
Yeah.
So while we do have an Xbox One S, Maya's Xbox One S, and I could play 4K Blu-rays in there.
Yeah.
Disney Plus, etc., is streaming in 4K. A lot of
Sure.
people are streaming in 4K.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Have
It
you watched some
does.
stuff?
I've watched some stuff, and it does not seem to need a disc. And so this whole like you need a disc to get the best quality.
Well, that's not even what I mean so much. So like, say you have a movie, I guess maybe you have an old console or something, but not everyone has a DVD player or a Blu-ray player. Like, you just have your movie library.
Check it all. Check everything off.
Just a disc drive, not even have to be 4K or anything. Just a Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
As a base or something. I don't know. I always feel like a disc drive is important.
I think streaming has really taken over in a crazy way.
It has.
Where like most people just have Netflix and aren't even buying movies on discs anymore. Like I think I was talking to Maya about this, and I was like, "Oh, I want to get this movie." She's like, "Why? Why do you want to buy that movie?" And I'm like you, where it's like to collect it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of the time the argument has been for quality. And it'll be interesting to see over the course of this generation, does the disk drive unit become outdated? And we're going to see sales. I'm still with you. I think internet is the biggest barrier currently. Not everybody has access. Period. Not everybody has access to speeds fast enough to give you that, and that is the barrier to entry.
Sure.
If that changes, I mean, we're getting 5G. 5G is launching with gigabit speeds on your phone, potentially. We're gonna hit a point of just you can get anything just streamed everywhere, and I don't know. I just think it'll be interesting.
I don't know if I'm sad to see that era of discs go away, or if I don't want to see something that I took so much time collecting and putting money into become obsolete. I don't know if I just don't want that to happen.
I don't think it matters as long as
it's somewhere.
No, as long as it's important to you.
Yeah.
It's like collecting vinyls. It's still different. And there's still going to be those special ones worth collecting.
But even still, like vinyls are so much more. Like you could hang a vinyl on a wall. You know what I mean? You can't hang your Blu-ray case on a wall and be like, look at that movie I loved that year. It's just different. Like I feel like they kind of become clutter and trash eventually. When you can literally pull up any movie you want and watch it at any time, anywhere, in any quality.
It's the convenience factor is what ultimately trumps the previous technology.
So like I'll always appreciate my movie collection, but I really don't buy hardly any movies. I buy like my favorite movie of the year. I buy the Star Wars collection, obviously. Yep. Like I told you, I'm probably going to be done with collecting Pixar movies, cutting off at Onward.
Right. So even you who collects, like you've hit a point where you're like, and that inflection point is different for everybody. And right. I think mainstream, we're close.
Yeah.
Once everybody tasted Netflix, they've almost become brainwashed to what else there was stuff before this.
I could never believe how people never caught on to Blu-ray. People just kept buying DVDs. I'm like, why? What are you doing?
I don't see the difference.
They look so bad.
I know. I can't watch a DVD.
I mean, do people not have high def TVs? To the point where the Blu-ray's pointless?
I love this woman, but she claims that she notices no difference.
Right.
Now, I showed her the 4K TV and she went, whoa.
Yeah.
And I will say, seeing the paint, I thought I saw Darth Vader's helmet clear.
Oof.
Seeing the paint on his helmet, like, next level. Oh, that was the first thing I watched.
Dude, watch the original trilogy. Watch those movies, and I'm telling you, maybe don't, but look for Vader's eyes. They're there, and it's creepy. It's awful.
I didn't notice it. That's
so
funny.
Bad.
He was very menacing, though.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I watched the end scene of Rogue One today, and
so good. So I know. I'm excited to watch Rogue One.
And then I was watching it, and I was watching the credits. I'm like, come on, give it to me. Yes, Gary Whitta, you are awesome. I love you.
So good.
Gary Whitta is the best.
And we're gonna get some more Gary Whitta throughout this show. If you haven't heard.
Yeah, we are. We sure are.
He was involved in one of the announcements today. So let's jump into that now that we've blabbered on enough about all this other stuff. And,
Yeah, just rambling about junk.
So they decided, no, well, you know what? We have one first little pre-announcement before they got into the real stuff. The Rockstar logo shows up on the screen.
Yeah.
I jumped up. I was like,
mean.
Oh, it's trolling on a whole new level. I still don't know if it was good or bad decision because they're getting ripped apart for it. And then it was, why did I move here? And I'm like, what year is it?
Is this 2011?
What is happening right now? And it was the same trailer, like quality.
A little bit new content though too, right?
Yeah, it looked bad though.
Right.
Like bad.
I mean, if you're trying to show off that it's not a remaster, right? It's just that it will be on PS5.
No, they're up there. They
really?
are enhancing it. They're enhancing it and expanding.
For the second time?
So now. Yes, I know. Daisy's not happy about it. Hey. No, quiet. Okay, so I want to address this. This is getting a lot of hate. I'm not upset about this. I'm actually quite excited.
The stuff they said at the end was really cool.
And I've read some more about it. This is only good news. People want to be mad that like we haven't gotten a new GTA. However, with the amount of content and what they've done with this game, the PS4 jump alone, I mean, that was significant. To me, that the PS3 version was like barely cobbled together, and then the PS4 version was like the definitive version, and now we're getting an enhanced port or like upgraded modded version.
Right. I mean, this is GTA doing the Battle Pass mentality where we don't have to charge you for the game anymore. We can give it to you because we know you'll spend boatloads of money, and that's just going to go straight into our bank account like it already is.
How much have we spent?
I've thought about it recently. I no longer have to. No, I have not. I have not. Never.
No, that's my point. How much have you spent on GTA Online?
Zero. But
zero.
Do you know how much people do?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. We can it's like mobile games. Do you spend hundreds of dollars on Candy Crush?
God, no.
But people do.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're crazy. I don't understand why.
I'm just saying, like, it's the next generation of GTA 5 is just it ebbs and flows with the gaming universe. It's like, yeah, we don't have to charge you for it anymore. You'll still give us all your money. Fortnite didn't have to charge us. Modern Warfare doesn't have to charge us. We'll make money off of it.
People are mad about it. You know, they're like, oh, Rockstar just wants money. That's why they exist.
But you think? Do you not want money?
And guess what? They're not just robbing you. They're giving you a product.
You don't have to spend any money. You can have... I don't know.
And you get a lot more out of this game.
We're going to get a lot of money.
Oh, yes, we are. $1 million a month until the game launches.
That's awesome.
That's a yacht right there.
Do we have to claim that?
Yeah, you got to log in.
Just log into the game?
Once a month, I'm pretty sure.
Cool.
And I might be crazy, but I'm pretty sure Amazon Prime Twitch rewards is also giving $1 million a month.
I think it changes. I thought I heard that currently it's 200,000. Like that's their current, but still. I'm gonna log in and check that out. But what is the one thing that still I would argue prevents us from playing more? The loading issues.
The infrastructure.
Being able to join each other.
It's horrible. Guess what? That's gonna be gone.
I hope so. I so severely hope so.
You're gonna click it and be in seconds. That's my expectation. Join up with friends. Run in there. Go like. It breathes new life. There's a reason for this.
It's so crazy, dude. GTA Online is insane that it's now spanned it's going into a third generation, and it could be even better and go for years and years more.
So here's the reason it is going to go for years and years more. Well, first of all, I wanted to say they announced this in a press release or something after. They're releasing a standalone version of GTA Online later next year.
Is that the free download?
No, you get that free, but they're releasing separately a standalone version of GTA Online after. For PS5 owners, you're going to get it free.
Okay.
Buy the console, right?
Sure.
But years from now, you'll probably have to buy GTA Online. Or I don't know how they're going to do that.
Okay.
But when GTA Online first came out, the promise was huge. It's taken years for them to get to it. The ultimate dream is like an MMO GTA. That's always been what it is.
Were the stories included in like having people in the world?
No, just GTA with everybody and every map and a country and all this. It's become a platform. I think
it's not GTA 5 online. It's just GTA Online. So like when the next game comes out, like what will happen to GTA Online?
And that's always been my fear is I'm investing all this time and then it's all going to go away. I'm now confident that all these years, all this time, all this money that we've invested, this is all going to stick. Yeah. GTA 6 will come out. It will have an online component and this will all roll over and you'll be able to fly from Los Santos to wherever the hell else they're going to be. And this is all going to be interconnected. I think they're going to add Liberty City. I think they're going to have that all up-resed. Potentially on PS5, we're going to get all that added.
That's so cool.
I really believe this confirms that that's going to happen.
That's so amazing.
People complain all they want, but I think this is only good news.
So you just got to dig a little bit deeper into the meaning behind why they announced this when they did. Like
you don't have to buy it again. People are like, "Oh, $60 more." It's like, no, they're literally giving it.
Literally not. Yeah.
So that's not true. But people like to complain.
So will the story mode be expanded at all?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that all of that energy is going to be going into 6.
Gotcha.
Which I would say is probably 3 years away, minimum 2023.
I think with enough online love, like that holds people over. Like even if you're clamoring for it, like you can still go have crazy fun, unexpected, brand new adventures in GTA Online.
And I think they're going to add a lot more stuff to it.
Yeah.
Some big stuff potentially.
New heists.
I'm thinking more conceptual, like gameplay mechanics, locations, like that kind of stuff.
You know what's crazy? I've still never played in the snow.
In GTA?
Yeah. Or
like in real life. I can take you if you need.
I've played in the snow plenty of times with you.
Yes. Now that we got that PS4 game out of the way.
Yes.
It was time for the real show. And they made sure to say all footage from this point forward is running on a PS5. And that is so important because everything you're about to see is real and going to be in your hands. And it's not running on a PC and then going to show up and not look that good or whatever. Like this is what it's going to be. And they kick it off in probably the best way that anybody could have imagined.
Yep.
Now, as the person had their hand stretched out and the armor's coming off, I'm like, what is this? God, their trailers are so good.
I figured it out pretty quick.
And then it took me until I glimpsed the mask. And then I saw the mask and I'm like, what? I lost my shit.
Yeah.
Because no, this is not supposed to be happening yet. Because immediately I'm like, Spider-Man 2. Okay, apparently we're getting Spider-Man 2. What is happening? And then it was Miles and I was like, oh my God, okay, this is even better.
So it's not Spider-Man 2, right?
Oh, this I'm assuming will be people are comparing it to First Light, which was an infamous Second Son expansion. As well as it could be even bigger. It could be more of a Uncharted Lost Legacy, which started as a DLC and turned into a full-on standalone game.
Okay. So maybe a little bit smaller, but still like a full-size game?
Maybe, I really don't know.
It's
going to be good enough.
God, it's going to be so much fun.
And it's coming holiday 2020.
Yep.
So this is basically going to be a launch game. This is going to be one of the first things we play on our PlayStation 5.
Can't wait to play this game. Cannot wait.
New York. Speaking of snow, New York in the snow.
Yeah.
That looked so sick.
Love it. I love Miles. He was such a good character. They did him so well.
So well. I love that he's getting his time in the spotlight.
Yeah. I'm curious what the story is, because like if Peter's telling him to go do his thing. Like, where is he? Where's Peter?
Europe on vacation.
Could be. Could be.
Did we talk about Spider-Man? Did you ever finish it?
I did.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe he
loved it.
maybe he's somebody not realizing where they actually are.
Correct. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
but
because what, he's supposed to be in like Rome or something?
I don't remember. I don't quite
He
remember.
did go to Europe, you're right.
But I couldn't believe it. What a way to start the show. Insomniac, you are kings. They're officially they're officially now a first party studio, even though they've really always been a PlayStation studio. They're now a PlayStation
Studios. Yeah.
And my God, that logo is beautiful.
I love it.
Up next, we had Kazunori Yamauchi from Polyphony Digital presenting their new game. Now, before we talk about their new game, I want to ask, did you notice anything?
I don't think so.
So I caught it almost immediately, and I was like, what? Oh, they're trying to slide this by people to see how many people notice. He was 100% CG.
What?
Yeah.
Which guy are you talking about? The second. Are you serious?
He was not a real person.
What?
Yep, and that's exactly why they did it. And they never addressed it. I haven't really seen anybody talking about it. So I then spent the entire rest of the conference over analyzing every single person on screen, being like, is that real? I can't tell. I don't know what's going on.
That's horrifying.
It was beautiful.
So, okay, full disclosure, the video I watched is not the one you sent me. I said yes to be polite.
Yeah.
I watched Kind of Funny's reaction.
You are frozen, sir.
I watched Kind of Funny reacting to it. I know that's not the best way. Like, I didn't watch it in its like full glory or anything, but
now I'm about halfway through that.
I just wanted to, because I didn't get to watch it with you, I still wanted like a little bit of a reaction along with what I was watching to know what to like get hyped about. And I don't. Why?
But I get that. I was thinking about that. I was like, why do people do that? And I guess it's because they to get that.
Yeah.
Because I know what to get myself hyped for.
I mean, earlier today, I really thought, I wish that you had recorded your own reactions to it, and then I could have played back that with it while I was watching it, just to experience your raw initial reactions at the same time.
It made me realize like why it makes sense for us to do like this.
Right.
Because people want to be a part of that and grab something that they're not maybe 100% familiar with. Everyone, how in tuned I am with everything.
Yeah, and everyone sees things from different angles too, and it's nice to see every shade of that. But there was one of those little, talking head interjections that Kevin was like, "Did that look weird to anybody?"
It wasn't that one.
It wasn't that one though, right?
It wasn't that. Nobody commented on it. I'm sitting here and I'm like, why? Because I'm like I said, I'm halfway through watching. I'm like, why is nobody talking about this?
Right. Because it doesn't look fake. It looks like a real person.
It's good.
I don't like it. Are you sure though? Like, have you looked it up?
I didn't need to, because I watched the stream 100%. I had my headphones on and I didn't blink for an hour as I just watched the screen. And
dude, I don't know.
Sat down and stuff, and the second he popped out, I'm like, oh my god, Gran Turismo's known for their graphics.
Sure. For people though?
For their graphics.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, they're trying something right now.
Now, are you sure it was just that one and not all of them?
I'm pretty
like, maybe this is PlayStation flexing and not just Gran Turismo.
I think it was both.
Like, maybe at some point in the future they will say, oh, by the way, all of those talking heads were completely CG.
I hyperanalyzed it. I was really, 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 really paying close attention, and I'm 100% confident he was the only one. Wow. There were a couple other ones, but I was like, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
We're not quite there yet. You could tell the difference.
I cannot see this. This looks like a real person to me.
It's crazy.
And if you're right, I'm actually scared.
It's subtle.
Ugh. Anyways,
but
GTA or Gran Turismo, just GT.
GT7. Gorgeous, obviously. Cars are always going to look beautiful. I'm intrigued mainly because of the DualSense, to be perfectly honest. I want to see what this game feels like in my hands, which is such a, like, not just feels like, but literally feels like. I feel like we're going to get to touch these games.
Yes,
in a
absolutely.
way that's never been done before.
But that's so funny though, because if there ever was a game that shouldn't be played on a controller, it's this one.
And I would argue this is the first time
you can absolutely.
And
most people will.
It's gonna somehow simulate that. You won't get the
I get that
feedback necessarily, but it's gonna be as close as possible ever to actually feeling like you're driving a car.
Sure.
Does that? I know it's not the bolted to the table actual shake, but
yeah.
I'm really intrigued what this will be like.
So I think I mentioned the last time we talked, like Gran Turismo 3 was one of, if not my very first video game, period. I played that game so much with my dad. It's not my first video game. Probably one of the first console games for sure. There was one day when I went with him to work on like people's day off, and everyone brought their PS2, and we hooked them up to little TVs, and we had like a LAN race party with him and like maybe 3 or 4 of his coworkers who all were super into Gran Turismo. And I remember there was one time I beat everybody as a kid, as a child. I was into racing, dude, and especially racing games. Like I was good.
That'll hook you.
Oh man, it was so much fun.
That winning, like that cements that.
I even remember the track. It was nighttime. There's a Ferris wheel.
We got to play this. Mark it down. We got to play that.
I'm super down.
Let's play.
Now I will say, to me, I'm sure this will look fantastic, but like the next GTA is almost the same as the last one in my mind.
GT.
Yes, GT.
Yeah, I wouldn't want. There's something about a new generation that gets my interest with stuff.
Like I wouldn't get GT8.
There's no GT Gran Turismo on PS4 other than Sport, I believe.
Is there not?
They did Sport, and Sport was like really, really good. But again, it was kind of like building the base and whatnot. And this is like, okay, now we fully realized it. We've got the new technology. We're ready for the next definitive title.
So what, 6 came out on PS3?
I think so. It was like
crazy.
I think it came out on PS3 after PS4 came out even.
Oh, okay.
I think that might have happened. Like, because the timing of the dev cycle.
Sure.
And so this has my attention
intrigued
for now.
For sure. Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
It'd be fun to play that and then play Forza on our Xbox Series X's and just compare.
I see myself firing up Forza way more often.
Yeah.
But I want to play this.
See,
like I'm so
yeah. I don't know.
We'll see. Maybe we'll do like we'll just play it by ear.
Yeah.
So after this, we get a little bug, and a very colorful bug, and the stuff starts firing, and I'm like, oh, what is it? Is it? And he falls out of the sky, and Ratchet and Clank, they're back at it. Now, I'm a horrible person and still haven't played the remake of the first one on PS4.
How many are there?
Just that one.
How many Ratchet and Clank games are there?
They made like 3 on PS2 and then 3 on PS3.
There's 6 games?
I want to say there's a lot, yeah.
Okay.
Because they did the original series and then they did the future series.
Okay.
I got the Ratchet and Clank collection on PS3 and played through the first game and maybe started the second one but didn't really play it. I'm happy they're doing this. I want to just kind of, no disrespect to those games, it's more just like
start fresh.
They're not really they're not upgraded and whatnot, and they're doing this reboot. So it's like, yeah, I kind of want to just forget about those. And they seem to have a direction with this new
generation.
This new reimagining of it. And
yeah.
People said the 2016 one was just absolutely phenomenal.
Okay.
I have it on my list of games to play. It has HDR, so I was waiting for the new TV to kind of get a little bit more out of it.
Yeah. So for
Um,
someone like me who likes to familiarize myself with the series, with like what came before it, before reading the book or watching the movie or playing the game, like would you not recommend going back and playing these games before playing this one? For me?
Play 2016.
Okay.
You should have gotten it through PlayStation Plus. That's the new. That's a reimagining of the first game.
Okay.
It's not a one-to-one recreation. They kind of tweaked some stuff, but it is the first game. And
Okay.
so I'm curious to see if this is just like a new branch or another reimagining of something else that they did before.
Okay.
I'm not, because I'm not too familiar with the series. Maya actually played the remake and loved it. Like she wanted to 100% it. That's how
Really?
into it she was.
So
And
these are not so much your games
I've just
as
not
like Jack and
really-
Daxter and stuff like that.
No, I missed Ratchet. I'm much like I missed Sly Cooper, but I played through the like fully through the HD collection on PS3. So
Right.
I have that frame of reference. And I did play the first Ratchet and Clank game. So like I understand what Ratchet and Clank is. It's about the weapons and it's mixed with platforming and cool other stuff. Like they're amazing games. I'm really excited to play the 2016 one.
Yeah.
And this looks incredible.
Some of
And
the game mechanics in this looked insane.
so they did talk a little bit. I think in the video they talked a little about how the jumping from planet to planet can only be done because of the SSD.
Yeah.
They're literally going from like full simulated world to full
One world to
simulated
another, yeah.
like that, and it's something that most people won't notice. They will just enjoy, and it will be an insane experience. But like, and not realize that wasn't possible before. You couldn't do that. It was, let me go through this level. Let me stop. Let me load up a bunch of new assets and go through this level and then stop and then load up a bunch of new assets. I'm so ready for that game design to be done and shook up.
I have a question, but I'm trying to think of how to form it. So for this game, right? Like where you're able to jump from a full world to another full world seamlessly.
Mhm.
A lot of people, like you said, won't realize that that wasn't possible before.
Yep.
And maybe because of that, not because of that, but they may not like this game, not realizing like the power and the effort and the technology that went into making this game even possible. Like, should a game be ranked just based off of a complete vacuum, like no interpretation of like what came before it sort of mindset,
100%.
or based off of like this is what we were at and where we are now, and like that's why it's so good because it came from something that was so archaic before.
At the end of the day, a game has to stand on its own because you're going to have every type of person playing it. So it's like the people who are aware of every little technical detail and all of that doesn't really matter. You have to sell this to the masses.
Right.
It needs to be fun. It needs to be accessible. It needs to be entertaining. It needs to be a good story. You hit those things. The technology has always been a roadblock that is hopefully now just being removed to let creative juices
Do
flow.
anything. Yeah.
That's really the key, and PlayStation gets that, and they're talking about that. It's about letting creativity take hold,
Yeah.
and it's only up from here as they continue to remove the restraints that they've self-imposed because of previous game design requirements.
Right.
And it's part of the reason that I want to make a game because I have no preconceived notions. And it's like, it's why Dreams is so amazing. Just make whatever you want. If you can think it up and kind of materialize it, you can make it.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna have professionals with professional experience doing that.
In Dreams,
And
you mean?
no, on PS5.
Right.
Like that is why my hype has been so high. Because, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm too ambitious, and that's probably going to take a few years to really materialize. But if you look at something like God of War, where Cory Barlog had a vision and they somehow pulled it off, But the pain that so many people went through, like it was not easy.
Yeah.
Like really, really, really not easy. And I'm hoping, like, nobody wants people to have to go through. That's been part of the discussion over the last few years, right? Is this pain that developers have to go through, and the idea that they don't have to go through that, they can just make what they want to make. And it's
I get what you're
really
saying. This console could be the sandbox that Dreams is to the everyday casual game maker.
Yep.
Yeah, it allows them to do anything. Like games could allow us to do anything we can think of because we're more capped.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. I like that.
And it's going to come up again later in the show.
Yeah.
So are you excited about Ratchet and Clank? You got to look up the 2016 one. It might be fun.
I'm definitely not writing it off. I'm not super excited about it. In the kind of funny thing, they mentioned Sly Cooper around this time. So like, is Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, and Sly, are they kind of in like a trinity of sort of games?
PS2 platformers.
Okay.
Ratchet and Clank was guns and power-ups. Sly was stealth. Jak was kind of third-person action.
Yeah.
Like,
see, I just only played Sly, and I don't dislike the others by any means. I just never intrigued me. I would like to play one of them just to be familiar with it.
Play the 2016 one and see what you think.
Sure.
I think
hopefully I did get it on PlayStation PS Plus, but
I think you have it. You should.
I didn't get every single game, unfortunately.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. It was recent.
But if it's cheap, I would buy it too.
Yeah. We have the disc.
Oh,
it came with. I got my PS4, so you can always borrow that.
Perfect.
So up next was the aforementioned Gary Whitta collaboration project.
Yeah, buddy.
Enix Project Athia, I believe.
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
You know, again, Square Enix popped up, and everybody's like, Final Fantasy. What's it gonna be?
Right.
We're not there yet.
Bless you.
With a new generation, I kind of like open myself up to all kinds of stuff. So just because it's new, never before. This isn't really something that grabs my attention, but I want to see what they can do with it. It's a talented company.
So Gary Whitta announced that he worked with the team to write this story
and create the world. Maybe
sure.
This is supposed to be like a new world that they've created.
He's becoming one of my favorite humans just because of how vast his projects are. Like he does so many different things that like he doesn't even necessarily seek out. A lot of times people come to him and they're like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" He's like, "Yeah, that sounds cool." He got approached for Cats. Did you know that?
No.
He turned it down. That's good.
When you do have one, you can turn stuff down, apparently.
Yeah.
That's got to be what elevated him, right?
Rogue One?
Yeah.
That, obviously, to me, is his greatest accomplishment by far. I don't feel like many people know. I didn't know of him because of Rogue One. I knew of him because of Kind of Funny. And then I found out that he wrote, or at least co-wrote Rogue One. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I knew who he was and still didn't find that out until later.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was like, Gary Whitta, that older British guy that they have on. I love him. He's so nice. And then I'm like, oh, he's legit.
He's somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wrote the Book of Eli, if not directed. Probably just wrote though.
Yeah, he's a writer. So that makes more sense.
But yeah, I mean that alone is reason for me to be interested in that game. Not that the world looks that super interesting to me, but
and I agree. The fact that he's in it, I'm like, okay, I want to pay a little bit more attention to this.
I mean, I
get into this.
I bought that comic, that Joker comic, because he and Greg wrote it. You know, because it's a supporting creators thing.
Yep.
So I'm intrigued by that game.
Now the next game up. Apparently, this is one of a few games that had been kind of on Kickstarter and kind of floating around, but are now like kind of coming into their own and they're ready to release and looking pretty legit. Starts out with a robot in an alley, and I don't know about you, I was immediately grabbed. I'm like, oh, what is this?
I'm stoked for this game.
This looks good, and you see kind of a cat in the background, and then you see some more robots, and the cat shows up again, and then you see some more robots, and
Now,
then
the
you start
first
to
thing that
realize,
grabbed me was Annapurna
yes,
because I
now
just
that
played a game by Annapurna. I'm like, I'm paying attention.
yes, that name, it's like, and I'm glad you reminded because I forgot they were on it. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is already starting off on a good foot,
And
and
they came up twice in
yeah,
this
I know,
hour. They
yeah.
apparently make games. Like, that's
Right.
crazy.
So they're like a publisher kind of a thing,
Sure.
and but it's like you trust them because
Yeah, absolutely.
their selection of what they're working with,
Well, and
and,
as a
and
movie company, you know that they're storytellers, you know?
exactly, yep.
First and foremost. I don't even know what this is. It looks like some kind of Love, Death, and Robots thing, and I am down.
It, this is.
And obviously, I'm a cat lover too.
I
I'm
was
current owner of 2 cats.
I was gonna say I feel like you have to play this game just by
I
your
will.
owning.
I'm gonna play this game. I can't wait. But
I'm this.
is it in Japan or it looks very Asian what I'm looking at right now,
I
but
think it's like a new language.
okay. Sure.
I'm assuming it's a apocalypse.
Such a
Person
cute kitty
apocalypse.
too. So Stray.
This is Stray coming 2021.
Can't wait.
I'm super hyped for this. This
Yeah.
looks. I want to be in that world. I love
Yeah.
weird robot worlds like that.
Yeah.
Love, Death, and Robots is a really good comparison.
Yeah.
Hey, oh my God, literally the one where it's the 3 robots and then there's a bunch of cats.
Is it? Because there's something. Because there was the like old Macintosh head with the face on it.
A bunch of them look like
That's
that.
what like was super Love, Death, and Robots to me.
But it was the 3 robots one where they're like running around
Yeah.
the city, and
Yeah.
and then it's all the cats. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together.
That's weird.
So that got a nod from me.
Definitely.
After this, we got a little break in the show, and they did a little focus on the DualSense controller.
Yes.
Loved this. This was the first time we got to see it in motion and animated really like this, showing off all the features. I think their visualizations did a really good job of communicating a concept that's really hard to understand until you experience it yourself. And seeing all the little PlayStation icons, like, it was like, oh, you're gonna feel this, like it's a texture to it.
Right. Did they? How did they visualize the haptic feedback though?
With those little so they kind of showed this, it was like this sea of like icons, little
Right.
tiny little like triangles and circles and X's, not crosses, and squares, and it was kind of vibrating and pulsating, and I liked that because it's like you can imagine touching those and then
Yeah.
kind of like having a texture on your hand, and it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna, and there's so many,
Yeah.
so it evokes like a like a specific sense.
Yeah. When they showed this, Andy was like, "Man, I really want to pull that trigger right now." It's like, yeah, you really do. I want to be hands-on. Also, my controllers are failing me now. Both of them cannot hold a charge at all. So
And I think
can't wait.
I'm thinking the charge on this one will be, the battery is going to be really improved.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited for the DualSense, and I think it's going to be the best controller ever made.
Would you support me buying a new new PS4 controller just to hold me over until the end of this generation?
How bad is it?
It's getting bad.
Find a deal.
Yeah. Or we can just go to E3 and I can win a free one like you. Oh, wait, no.
Can't wait for USB-C.
Is that what they're going to be? Oh,
Yeah.
man, it would complement my white and black ones so well.
It really worked out with this because I gave it to Maya. She only had one controller, but now I'm using it.
Yeah. Are yours getting bad too?
I've never had battery issues, honestly.
The weird thing was the first one I had was the black one. I bought the white one.
Mm-hmm.
That one started getting bad first and for a long
Yeah.
time. And just very recently, the black one has now completely tanked. So
That's a shame.
they're on their last legs.
it was an improvement over the 3, and I think this, like I said, I
Oh,
think this is
completely.
the best controller ever.
I'm not
made.
complaining. I need something
No,
to
no,
last
it's
me 6 more months.
Sony knows and have hopefully put these improvements into the DualSense.
Yeah.
Okay. After they show the DualSense, I love the little breaks in between were just perfect.
There were nice little pauses.
We got to look at Returnal.
Yes.
I thought the name was clever.
It's a good name.
I liked the name. I don't know if I want to play it. It's kind of intriguing,
Nope.
but I think I'm probably good with how much content. So this is so it's a woman and she's in a spaceship, and she says, I keep reliving the first time I arrived on this planet and then crashed and then died and then arrived and then crashed and then died over and over again, and I'm losing my memories and all this kind of crazy stuff, and it looks cool, but what do you think?
It was, well, my first comment is it's weird to have 2 games in the same show with the same concept. And I'm much more intrigued by the next one.
Yes, I
But
agree.
this one, it just doesn't do it for me. It's a little too dark, too creepy, too horror. I would definitely never play this by myself. The only reason I would play a game like Dead Space was because you and I vowed to play that together.
You mean
And
because I vowed to play it and you watch?
I played a little, and I will play if we ever get back to it. I will play.
Okay, we'll play.
Yeah.
I'd love a remastered Dead Space.
No, I'm good with this one.
Yeah, so it's made by Housemark, which I'm blanking on what else they make. I want to say Until Dawn, but I don't think that's what they made.
Taking comments that I heard from Kind of Funny, I believe this was the game where they previously played a lot of previously made a lot of top-down games, and they wanted to focus all of their studios and all their people into one new game and new concept, and this is what they came up with.
Okay.
So I think that's really cool for them to they wanted to make a AAA game, and this is it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome for that studio.
Resogun?
But say what?
Resogun?
Did they make Resogun?
Now I need to. I'm getting. It's not Until Dawn. That's somebody else. Resogun.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
cool.
a few other games like that. I heard they were working on something. So no, I think it's not for me. I think it'll be good though.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm not hating on it at all, but it's not my cup of tea.
It's a great addition to the library.
Now, the next one was a game that I definitely thought would be Greg's cup of tea, and he did not seem intrigued by it at all. And I don't know why.
So I don't really need to play this, but I love that they're bringing Sackboy back. It's solidifying a PlayStation mascot, giving him another chance on a new system, kind of in a new format. It's Sumo Digital, who actually made Little Big Planet 3.
Not the first two?
No, Media Molecule made the first 2.
Gotcha.
And then moved on to Dreams.
Right.
Sumo Digital came in and made 3, Little Big Planet 3 for PS4. And I'm all for more Sackboy. It's a little bizarre because I just see PS3 whenever I see Sackboy.
Yeah.
But it still makes me happy. Because what makes Nintendo special is how they've developed their IPs over the years.
Right.
And Sony's getting good at that. They're like they're close.
Well, this is smart to me because it speaks to a slightly different audience, as well as the original Little Big Planet audience. Little Big Planet does not speak to me. It's a little too vast, a little too use your own imagination. I want a game to kind of hold my hand a little bit more. This looks fun. I don't know if I'll get it, but this does look pretty fun.
I like it. So what I saw this as was, so Media Molecule also made Tearaway, which was more of a linear, make your way. You have a character and you're making but it was like a character that people don't ever talk about. So it's like everyone knows Sackboy.
Yeah.
Kind of merge those two together and give Sackboy his own definitive adventure, and it's literally Sackboy, a big adventure. So
Right.
I think this is a good addition. I don't know if I'll play it, but maybe.
Did you played Little Big Planet, right?
Yeah, not that much though.
Okay. It wasn't like you weren't in
I
love with those
dabbled.
games.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
There's just too much going on. Maya and I tried to play Little Big Planet 3 together, but it never grabbed me enough.
Gotcha.
I
But
have to.
I think it's cool. I think it'll be good
I'm
for a certain
happy.
audience. Yeah, definitely.
I'm super happy it exists.
Now I have a question. You had said that you had, did you say you ranked or rated every single one of these reveals?
So I did an emoji type review. So for example, I gave Spider-Man a star.
Sure.
I gave Gran Turismo 7 a thumbs up. I gave the CGI presenter a heart because I just loved that they did that. I gave Ratchet and Clank 1 star. I
Okay.
gave Stray 1 star.
Out of how
Even though
many?
it just you'll
Just
see
a
as it
star.
progresses.
Okay.
I gave the little DualSense thing a star because I loved seeing that. And I gave this next game a thumbs up. I don't know if I'll play it, but I'm actually thinking I want to. And when it first, so this is Destruction All Stars. What did you think about it?
Nah. Which is weird.
So
It kind of looks like it could speak to me more than others, but this didn't do anything for me. It's cars. It's battling. Two things I like a lot, but
it is cars and battling. And when it was cars and battling, I was like, more cars and battling.
right.
Destruction Derby. This is kind of like Rocket League. The thing that got my attention was when I noticed, oh, it's not just cars and battling. You can be on foot.
They do get out of the car, which is
And
weird.
I think that adds another layer where it's like you can then destroy somebody else's car on foot. You have to go try to get another car. And I'm like, I think this has the potential to be a fun game. Kind of how Rocket League came out of nowhere.
So here's a weird take.
I'm not like driven to play this though.
Sure. I don't like games where the character you choose determines how good you do or don't do. Not that it's pay to win, but something like Overwatch or I think even Dota is like that.
Is that not play
A-
style?
Apex. No, it's like it's traits and perks and bonuses and stuff that each character gives you. I don't like that. I like things like Fortnite and I'm being a little bit too generalizing, but like even like, Warzone where it's just how you play. It's pure skill. The character you choose doesn't determine how good you do because
Yep.
I don't have the mindset and the strategy to choose the right character. Like I just want to jump in and kill people and win.
It's interesting because Smash is like that a little bit.
Smash too. That I was exactly going to say Smash. Like I can't wrap my head around Smash.
However, the thing that also exists alongside that, because I'm so with you on that, is it's not definitive.
Sure.
If you can find somebody who resonates with you, then you can win with anybody.
Definitely. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. I don't like the choice.
But then you have to figure it out.
Right.
And like just having to figure that out alone is a lot.
Smash is it's its own thing. I get it. Like there's like
To be casual.
there's roughly like 100 characters that you can learn and master, and like there's something fun and crazy about that. But I don't know.
To be honest, this is why I pick Mario in Mario Kart. This is why I pick Mario in Mario Party. This is why I always pick Mario or Crash in Crash Team Racing because I like to have even stats and let me kind of deviate within that. I don't want to be advantaged or disadvantaged in any one area.
Right. I want to be my person, but not with any kind of differing stats than other people.
Yep.
I want a racing game with Sly Cooper. That's what I want. When can I have that?
Just something. He needs
Also,
some
really
love.
sad there was no Sly Cooper in this whole video. That was a little bit of a bummer.
sad there was no Jack and Daxter,
Yeah.
but that was no good. I knew that was too good to be true.
Are you anticipating a new Sly in this generation?
Yeah, I was gonna say don't give up hope. There's a good chance he could pop back up.
I was watching a Games Daily that Greg did with the writer/creator of Sly 4 that they did in December.
Thieves in Time.
And he was being a little mischievous and kind of skirting questions and stuff. So I feel like there's more on the way.
There's more on the way for sure. 100%. That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
No,
Just because it never died officially and there was all that other stuff they were working on.
Right.
There's something coming.
I hope so.
I want those games remade with new graphics so that they can live forever.
Because, I mean, currently you can play them on PlayStation now. The first three, at least. That's not a thing, I know.
You can't download them.
But that's the thing. I can't play those first three games.
No, exactly.
Because I guess I can on that one PS3 that I bought off of my friend, but that's it.
Now they didn't announce it today, but let's not give up hope for backwards compatibility fully through every generation. I don't think it's likely. I don't think that.
Yeah, I'm not super stoked about it
that way. But they could be saving that.
Would that just be like the ultimate ace in the hole? Just like,
yep.
Even though Xbox already has this.
Yep. They don't have the catalog.
True.
And that's the difference. But Sony doesn't need to do it at the end of the day. And that's what I came away today. I was like, God, as much as I want backwards compatibility, if they're just like, nah, I'm like, okay, I don't care. Because I'd rather play all these new games that look absolutely insane.
They always have something new to play
I'll go buy
satiate yourself without being able to play your old game again.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And new games is always better.
Yeah.
Speaking of new games,
yeah,
this next one, wow. I'm very excited for it. Kena Bridge of Spirits. This is like a playable Pixar movie.
This looks so cute.
I am so excited for this.
Definitely Pixar. It gives me a little bit of like Frozen vibes with the little rolling troll things. Oh,
I don't really know what all to say about it other than it looks like it's a kind of magic platform with platforming and it's cute puzzles and all kinds of stuff. Oh, I did catch Ken Watanabe, who's like one of my favorite actors. I think he was doing the voice at the beginning.
Cool.
That immediately got my attention. I also even liked the brothers. This was like so they mentioned, I didn't really process it, that they were like a small studio with a history in film and cinema. I think
this looks like it could be a movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody texted me. Tyler texted me. 18 people made this game.
Whoa.
And so I mentioned about development for the PS5 and what this could do. 18 people that probably make movies were like, let's go make a game, and look what they did.
And this game looks gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So
and like fully fleshed out and deep too. Like
this looks like 200 people made it.
Yeah, that's insane.
So this generation is good. We're just getting going. We are just getting going.
That's so exciting.
We're gonna stop thinking about like, oh my God, look what they could do, and just appreciate what it is.
Right. You mean like not blown away by new stuff so much and just
not concerned about it?
Sure.
Not focused on that. It used to be, look, now the jagged edge is smooth.
Right. It's like, of course it is. They all are.
Why wouldn't it be? That would look weird.
Right.
And that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, where like that was a barrier to a lot of people getting into games. Where it was like, that's a game. That's like a less realized thing.
Yeah. I can see that.
Play a game, and gaming is about the agency you have of controlling something and going, wow, I'm controlling that. That's amazing.
Well, it's like that video of Mario 64 that Robin sent us a few days ago. Yeah, the game doesn't look fantastic, but look what that guy was able to do in that video game. That was insane. Just speed running through this world like nothing I've ever seen before in my life.
It was a speedrun video of the third Bowser uh, I can't even think of what you course. And yeah, it's basically jump, 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 perfect. Every jump is perfectly speeding through the level.
I was waiting for him to fail at the end. I was like, oh,
I
he's gonna screw something up.
thought he was gonna jump over the end, and it was not gonna work. But no, I'm happy he completed it.
Definitely.
This next game.
Wait, what emoji did you give that game?
2 stars.
2 stars.
Yeah, I gave it 2 stars.
Wow.
That's right up my alley. Beautifully colored platforming games. Are you kidding me?
And cute, yeah.
I can't wait to show my grandma that tomorrow because I have a whole PS5 playlist that I'm going to show her. Because she's always game for that stuff, so it should be fun.
Okay, now next, another talking head comes up. I'm telling you, this guy looks the same as that first guy. My bet would be that all of them were CG. If you're claiming the first one was CG, I'm saying they're all CG.
No, this guy was real, 100%.
What, dude? They look the same.
Only that first guy. I promise you.
I swear to you.
I would put money on it.
I want them all to be CG so that they can just drop that later.
I do want to talk about this a little. The Oddworld series is a really interesting series. So this guy is the original like creator. He had a vision apparently in like the 90s for this like epic kind of odyssey of multiple games telling this story. He made 2 and then they went off and made all these weird other games.
Is this Oddworld you're talking about?
Oddworld.
Okay.
The company is literally Oddworld.
Okay.
Years went by. He either came back or they restructured. They remade the first game. And they've now been remaking, and that was Oddworld New and Tasty. That's a remake of the first game. They've now been remaking the next game in the series, but it's not even a remake. It's like the first time they're ever actually doing a true sequel for years. I've still not played them, but
never heard of these games.
I have New and Tasty, and I think I want to play it.
It's the same character, no?
Yeah, this is the evolution of his story. I don't want to go too much into the lore of what these worlds are. We can talk about that another time.
Sure.
But there's something about people finally getting to do what they've always wanted to do that just warms my heart. When you have this epic vision and then you like lose that and then you get back to it and it's like 20 years later, he's finally fulfilling this dream and he wants to make all of these games.
Is that a Kojima thing?
No.
No? Because he was always doing his thing, right?
He worked for Konami. What do you mean is that a Kojima thing?
Because he's doing his own, he has his own company now, right? So I just didn't know if before he was kind of under the thumb of the Konami bigger company. Yeah. And now he gets to do whatever Kojima wants to do.
But not the games that he made. He can't touch Metal Gear because Konami owns it, so he has to make his own stuff.
I get what you mean. So they're still expanding upon what they were doing before.
Yes, this is a reimagining of the story, of the world, of the lore, of the characters, of all of that.
Gotcha.
And it's going to be like a perfectly realized version of that.
Because they have the capacity to do whatever they want with it. Where they were kind of limited before?
I don't know the reason that it happened. I think it was kind of like they lost sight.
Gotcha.
And things happen. Things get complicated. I don't know too much about the story.
This game looks kind of cool, but
I'm on the edge.
It grosses me out a little bit.
So I will tell you the concept. Basically, these people are turned into food.
They're what?
And they're like slaves and turned into food secretly by this like organization. It's a commentary on certain stuff for sure.
Yeah.
It's got like deep messages in there and themes.
Oddworld Soulstorm is what we're talking about.
New and Tasty was the first one, and Soulstorm will be the second in the series, and I think they probably intend to make more. I believe there were 5 original games intended.
That's crazy.
My first exposure to Oddworld was Oddworld Munch's Odyssey, which was an offshoot game. And I remember this, Eden, who you know.
Oh, yeah. That's way back.
way back. He got Oddworld, Munch's Odyssey on the original Xbox, and it always caught my attention because it was like a soda can. So it had to do with like again, they were making something into it, polluting and doing that industry and all that crap.
So is this game a PlayStation exclusive?
No.
Okay.
I believe it'll be multi-plat. And it's on PS4 and PS5. I'm sure it'll be on Xbox. I'm not 100%. It might be a PlayStation exclusive. It'll be on PC.
I forget if it says PlayStation. If it says PlayStation Studios, it's exclusive, right?
This is not PlayStation Studios.
But if it says that, then...
Yeah.
Okay.
Next up, Ghostwire Tokyo. This was first shown at E3 last year. What do you... I feel like you don't want anything to do with this because it's spooky.
It was definitely creepy, but even besides that, just the playstyle didn't super intrigue me. I love the first person, just sort of superpower, destroy all the things in your wake didn't really speak to me all that much. It looks cool, but I'm watching it right now. Very creepy. Don't like.
I want to run around Tokyo, but I don't think I want to run around like this.
I want to run through at least neutral Tokyo, if not a happy Tokyo. Not a creepy Tokyo.
That would be Persona.
Is Persona happy?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's pretty upbeat with like weird stuff, but not scary.
Definitely not scary.
But I wish them the best, and I hope lots of people enjoy this.
What was this game called again?
Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ghostwire Tokyo. Okay.
Next up, the first ever announced PlayStation 5 game.
Is this the one that we saw at...
Yep.
What was it?
Godfall.
This is the one that we saw at Game Awards?
Mm-hmm.
Really? This actually looked a lot more intriguing now than it did then.
I put a sleeping emoji.
It looked a lot prettier than I remember. Is this the one that had the trailer of like the super dark and like lava and like everything's covered in ash and there's like hordes of demons coming to fight you and stuff? Is that what I'm remembering?
Not kind of. It's big people in armor. It's like a loot armor fighter thing.
I don't know. This looks kind of cool. I'm not going to get it. But
yeah,
this trailer definitely did a lot more for me than I remember doing at the Game Awards.
I like the music.
The music in this entire hour and 15 minutes was unbelievable.
Bravo. 100%.
This gives me slight Destiny vibes too.
Which is why I'm just like, it's just run around and
how dare you
stuff and earn swords and whatnot. You told me yourself you don't want to get back into Destiny after.
I know, but I've also put countless hours into the game.
But that's why I don't play this.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I'm interested to see what kind of game that even is. You know, like is it that sort of rinse and repeat kind of game, or is it just a point A to point B story?
I like point A to point B stories.
Me too.
So next up is a game that I am super intrigued by, and it was made by the people of another game that I still need to play, Hyper Light Drifter.
Yes.
Which I've always wanted to play. I heard it was difficult. I just never got around to it. It never really popped up anywhere.
Also Annapurna. This game, at least. This was the Annapurna game. I don't know if Hyper Light Drifter is.
I wonder if it is. I'll have to check. But Solar Ash, I think this looks so cool. I love weird art styles like this with lots of color and good music. And
I loved the look of it. I don't know if the gameplay necessarily pulls me in just yet.
Third person running around? Skating around?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a draw.
Hashtag question mark.
Andy was loving it because he loves Hyper Light Drifter so much.
Yeah, I love it. He's like, go play Hyper Light Drifter, damn it.
But like he was watching this just losing his mind. I'm like, yeah, I mean it looks cool.
I didn't get that hyped off it. When they first showed it, I need to see more. But I can see why if you've played a game made by these people, then you can kind of extrapolate what is possible.
Sure. Yeah, and you know, I'm excited to see what like the evolution of that can be. So
when I do have to say when they were when he was like walking out and you could see the map below and there were like trees in the expanse, and I was like, ooh, I want to go explore all that. That was what I remember taking away from the trailer. I did give it a thumbs up.
I would too. It definitely was cool.
Two thumbs up?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Two thumbs up is like, can I have 3 thumbs up?
No. You can
2 thumbs up is I intend to play this. 3 thumbs up is like launch. Like day 1, I'll buy this. There's one game in here that I like will get when it comes out.
So curious what that's gonna be.
Yeah.
So the next thing got a heart from me.
Heart. Was it the yeah.
The boot screen.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved that. We got to see that. I wanted to see the UI. I thought they were going to show us the UI, but they're definitely saving that, I think, for a deep dive.
Do you think that was the audio too?
Oh, 100%. Everything we saw up until it cut was, and I loved it. Yeah, the audio was beautiful. I remember it felt very like upbeat and like, let's do this.
Definitely happy.
Yeah. So I have to say, this next game, one of my most hyped games. And I believe this is another Kickstarter game that's been floating around since apparently like 2015. So a while it's been being worked on. And that
I'm very unfamiliar with Astrobot.
Did I miss Astrobot? Oh my god, Astrobot did come
out. I thought that's what we were talking about.
No, I'm so happy you said that. I totally missed that.
I was like, oh, you really like Astrobot.
No, I really do want to. Oh, I'm sorry. I really do want to play.
That's okay.
Astrobot on PSVR, but that won't be until the PSVR 2 comes out next year.
If that comes out.
When it comes out next year. Wireless PSVR 2.
That'd be fantastic.
Holiday 2021.
What is Japan Studio? Is that just like a subsect of PS4? PlayStation Studios, or?
Japan Studio is a development studio.
They are a game studio.
A whole bunch of yeah, they've worked on a whole bunch.
Because I saw their name a lot in these videos.
I think they've become like partly a support studio to help a lot of different people.
Okay.
But they make Astrobot now. That's like one of their calling cards.
Okay.
This looks like a non-VR Astrobot, which I think is a good way to bring that to the masses.
They definitely didn't imply that it was VR.
They can't talk about it yet. It had the DualSense, which means
why show it if it's not though? Like, why get someone hyped for it and then say, "Oh, by the way, it's for VR"?
I don't think it's VR.
Right. Yeah. I don't either.
No. I think you're right. Maybe it's just like an updated port for PS5 without VR, but like so where like everyone can play.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll see. But the other game that I was getting excited about when I jumped ahead, Little Devil Inside.
This looks very cool.
I'm so into this. This might be my favorite game from this.
Cool.
There's something about it, the combination of humor and art style and gameplay. You're like a little hunter running around, bringing stuff back to the guy, and it seems to have it has humor, and then the different environments, and it's buttery smooth.
Is this considered a platformer?
No, platformers are jumping around.
Well, he seemed to be jumping around a lot, but I guess he's fighting a lot of stuff too. And
I don't remember him.
He's doing everything. He seems to be doing everything.
It's very artsy, and I don't know if it's open world.
It's almost like paper mache. Like his head is so basic.
I think it's paper mache.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty. Like, it's very nice to look at.
Every time I've seen this a couple times now, and I'm just like, I don't know how to process this. What this is? It's gorgeous, low quality.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by it. I'm stoked for it for people, but didn't look like something I wanted to pick up right away. I'm sure I'm gonna hear you talk about it at some point.
Watch me play it.
Yeah, and I will. Trust me, we'll talk about this next week. We won't talk about it next week. I trust your game opinions through and through. So if you say this is a good game, I'll play it.
Thank you.
Golf story. But yeah, this game looks great.
I love that studio.
Yeah.
I just want to say my favorite part of this trailer is when he drops the bomb and then it becomes a poop.
I didn't like that. I'll be honest. I didn't enjoy that, but
Maya's comment
it was a funny choice.
They went there.
They did.
I'm
They
like,
did go there. Yeah. Little devil inside.
I like when
You
they
guys.
make decisions like that. So then we jump to something that you would think would be one of my. I actually predicted this. I don't know if I actually mentioned it in our predictions, but the reason being, I didn't think they'd show this given the current situation. But it's
Current situation of what?
The world. And the fact that basketball is not being played. I'm like, how are they going to scan people?
That could be a
How are they
draw.
gonna scan
That could be a
people?
draw. You can't watch basketball, so play basketball.
How do they make the game? How do you go and scan all of these people into the game?
I legitimately heard you say scam with an M. How are they going to scam people into buying loot boxes?
That's funny. Scan, like literally the players into the game. But
well, they didn't. They just scanned Zion. That's it.
Literally, I think that's what they've done.
It's just every single person in the game is Zion.
I was texting with Levin about this, and he was like maybe FIFA, and I was like, I feel like they're gonna if it's a sports game, they'll do 2K. 2K14 was a flagship title when the PS4 launched. It was arguably the best looking PS4 game at launch.
2K basketball is the sports game, I feel like.
However, FIFA is the sports game. Let's be real. The numbers
really?
Yeah, globally.
Okay.
The numbers don't even compare. They're at the top of the chart.
That's true.
Every single week, every single year, constantly, nonstop, all the time. It's FIFA.
I feel like you have a lot more room for realism in 2K than you do in FIFA, though, because FIFA is so pulled back and not like in the face of not that 2K is necessarily in the face, but like it's so pulled back. It's just little people playing soccer, you know. I'm not hating on it. Like I get that FIFA is great.
I get what you're saying.
Like I feel like 2K can simulate a basketball game a lot better than FIFA can simulate a soccer game.
I think this actually speaks a little bit also to just the sports themselves. Basketball is very, very, very intimate. You got 10 people, which is already less. You can see all of their faces.
Right.
It's a small court, and then that translates over to the game, because I totally get what you're saying with FIFA. I think that's changed a little bit recently with the uptick in quality.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I like that. I never thought of basketball as intimate. It super is. You have your starting five, and you have your handful of bench players that come in and relieve a little bit, but like it's those five guys.
It's part of the reason that the NBA is as successful as it is, with personalities and faces. It's part of the reason that I think football doesn't have the ability to have that kind of a draw,
especially with the helmets. Yeah,
everyone's in a helmet. They're hidden. There's so many people. It's so zoomed out.
It's definitely the smallest team sport, because you have tennis where you just have your one guy, but or golf, which I love. I love both of those, but
not a team sport, though.
No, right. So it's definitely the smallest team sport. That's cool. I never thought of it that way. I like that.
Yeah, and it's, I think, led to a lot of success. So you'd think I would be just through the roof excited. I mean, obviously,
I was going to ask.
My hype for 2K has been extremely low. To be honest, it came on, I'm like, this doesn't look good. This does not look good. This was definitely the pandemic trailer, considering there was one person.
They got Zion to look into the camera over here with his AirPod in, and here, just read this. The same way that they got Patrick Mahomes to read the thing for that Xbox, or was it the Xbox video?
It's the Xbox
video. Hey guys, you won't believe what this Madden game looks like. It's like, I probably can. I'm sure I can imagine what it looks like.
A lot of sweat. Definitely a lot of sweat.
Yeah.
Now, my first time watching this, I was when I said the pandemic version, I didn't mean the Zion talking into the camera. That was so awkward and weird. I meant the actual gameplay, where it was literally one person in a gym,
a practice court. Yeah.
Like,
doing a single dunk.
We can't play basketball together right now. Like, that's pretty much right. and I 2K's let me down a lot. I've not been excited, and I was opening myself back up to like, okay, new gen, new graphics. If you show me something absolutely insane, then you might have my attention.
What if for like Call of Duty, they got like an actual military sniper to come in and be like, dude, you guys, you won't even believe the realism in this game and how they captured what it feels like to do my job. I always feel like that's awkward when they pull those guys in because, sure, some of them might play video games, but it's just a paid advertisement in the end. They paid him to represent the game and to say it looks fantastic and that you won't believe how it is. And I don't like that. It's ingenuine to me. I don't appreciate that, and it's awkward.
I'm with you. I would say with basketball, it's interesting because a lot of these guys do play a lot.
And
they're really into
over
it.
recent years, for sure, like you've definitely seen a lot of them expressing that they like playing games a lot.
Right now, they're all playing 2K. They're and when a pro shows up in 2K, they're themselves.
It's so
weird. You know it's them. Yeah, it's really weird. I'm not really into this whole new era of sports video games, to be perfectly honest.
Can I ask a quick question?
Mm-hmm.
How do you, since it's the week of this news, and to be topical, how do you feel about the news about the NBA season adjustment? So the playoffs will not be
from whatever was happening that I'm just like, okay, play basketball. It's so sad. It's so sad.
Now, you may know this better than me. It's going to be the top 22 teams playing an 8-game season. Apparently. Does the previous season have any weight at all?
No idea.
Or do they start fresh?
I've not been following it.
That would be ridiculous if you start fresh.
29 out of 30 teams voted for it.
Who's the one?
The Portland Trailblazers.
Why?
After Damian Lillard said, I just want a chance.
Where are they at? How bad are they?
I think they were out of the playoffs, but I'm not 100% sure. I think they were out. They had a hard season.
Yeah. Sorry, man. We're already giving more teams than we usually do a chance, so you should have been better.
I just don't even know how to feel about it.
And is this pending like an approval that they're allowed to play, or like is this going to happen? Like come October or whatever it is, like are they going to do this thing, or is it still kind of up in the air?
I think they're going to do it. I'm not following it. I don't look it up. I don't look into it. If
will you watch it though? Like once it comes,
100%. I will watch it and I'll root for the Lakers and everything. But it's like,
I mean, it's like in a way, it's historical. Like you'll be watching the NBA playoffs with 0 fans, and you'll be watching.
Woo!
I know, but
I can't even.
I like the change. I like different. Like
if the Lakers win, everyone will say it doesn't count.
No, they won't.
Yeah, they will.
Why? They were already on track to potentially win.
Trust me, I've been a Laker fan my whole life. They would have said it anyways. This is more reason to say it doesn't count.
Does that matter to you though? Do you say it counts?
I don't know how to feel about it yet. Until I watch it and feel it and witness it and live it, I don't know how to feel about it yet. But even if it's 100% legit and everything, people will say it doesn't count.
Look, I don't even care about this 8-game season, preseason or whatever. Like, if you win the playoffs, like that's tough. The best team wins the playoffs, regardless. You play 7 games against every single team. The best team wins, in my mind.
There's just so many things at play here. Plus, I really want to talk about this next game.
I mean, obviously, I want the Lakers to win, but for your sake, I want them to win because I've heard you say so many times the Lakers are going to get robbed of a championship because of this stupid virus, and I don't want that to happen. But I also don't want people to like undermine it too by saying it wasn't legitimate.
And then
anyways,
in December.
The what?
The new season would start in December.
That's the thing I didn't realize, that the playoffs are going to start after the season was going to end, which is crazy.
We'd be in the finals right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Whoa. That's insane. Anyways,
But I just really want to talk about this next game.
let's do it. Oh shoot, I've been playing the video this whole time.
Do you want to talk about it first, and then I'll tell you what emoji I have?
Is this
It's
the
very
super weird one? It is. Yeah.
Bugsnax.
Is
Bugsnax. They even had a catchy song. This is
yeah. I don't know.
strawberry.
How do you feel about this game? Because I don't really feel one way or the other. Nah. I don't care.
I need to see more. I'm so.
Hey, when
I'm
there's a strawberry with eyes and the little leaves for legs, and then it gets eaten by a walrus or whatever it was.
I
Like,
don't even know what that. And then there's a burger monster at the end.
yeah, I don't play games like this.
I'm definitely like don't want to play this game. But
Did you play Octopath?
Octodad? But I would play
Octodad.
Yeah,
The weird octopus dad thing? I actually did play that a little bit.
I wanted to play it. I'm leaving this open because the emoji I put, and like I said, it's appropriate from the previous thing. I put a goat
Why?
as a joke because I'm conflicted between this is the worst thing and greatest thing I've ever seen.
It's definitely not the worst thing. It's far from the worst thing. It's weird. It's niche. Like it's its own genre.
It could be bad.
I feel like it's so weird you can't even say it's bad.
That's the thing, right?
It's like,
I text a few
duh,
people.
look at it. It's literally a game about food and people eating food and becoming food. Like, what do you what do you expect? It could also be incredible.
Yeah, exactly. I can't tell where the humor lies. Exactly.
It seems pretty dry.
But I can't tell if they're like making fun of themselves or not. That's the angle that I haven't picked up on.
That's definitely the vibe I got.
Or they're just like like they're not, and they are taking themselves seriously, and we're just laughing at them.
I don't think these people are taking themselves seriously as a business. I think they are as a
game. Like,
as a game, no.
To have fun, like, hey kids, have fun with Bugsnax, because like the song was like a song on a kids show.
This game also does not seem like it's for kids. It seemed a little off-putting.
But it's not graphic.
No, but I don't know.
So I did text a couple of people after the show, and I was like, for the whole PS5 event, and I said one word: Bugsnax.
So I was gonna ask you, I'm like, can you describe the entire show? And I was gonna ask for 2 or 3 words.
Bugsnax.
I would have loved if you had said Bugsnax. I'm just like,
Bugsnax.
huh? If this game is like M, maybe.
But what if it's E?
No. Hard no.
That's the rating, right? G is movies.
Yeah, E is for everyone. Yeah.
And G is for everyone.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no. If this is E, I'm not playing it.
Right? I'm but like then the guy was like, I was chasing the thing with my weenie hands, but then I dropped it and I couldn't do it. And then
See, it's pushing it. It's getting there.
I'm like, I don't want to play this because that little strawberry guy running around going strawberry. I was like, oh my god, I love this. I want to play this immediately.
And then he dies.
Ate it, and I'm like,
oh,
what is happening right now? This is weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
So TBD, we will come back to that one
for sure.
I'll definitely never forget it.
Dang it! I keep not pausing the video.
This next one kind of deserves a drum roll. Honestly, when I was going through making my notes, I was like, holy crap, they put a lot of stuff in here. Like, this thing was loaded.
With a lot of different
genres and
shades, yeah. It had something for everybody.
Something, and that's what PlayStation, to me, has been doing so well.
Wait a second. I don't know if I'm playing the right one.
So I believe the next one was Blue Point's game.
Demon. Yeah. Okay.
So
sure.
we've talked about this, right?
We have. Yeah, we talked about it last episode.
This looks incredible, honestly.
Looks very good.
I'm terrified. I would not normally be into something like this, but with how much I've heard people talk about Bloodborne, and I have Sekiro. I want to play that, and I've always wanted to play a Souls game, but I didn't really want to get into remastered and da 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 da. This looks,
I hate to ask this again. Is Sekiro
yeah.
made by the same people, or it's just the same genre?
Sekiro is made by the same people, but through a
Ooh.
partnership with Activision.
Okay.
This is not made by them. This is a remake of their game by Bluepoint, who are the new freaking masters of this stuff.
Sure.
And I have Demon Souls. I got it as a PlayStation Plus game, I think, at some point. I have it on PS3,
Interesting.
and I never touched it. I think I have to play this game.
I
Just
forgot
the
there were
amount.
PlayStation Plus games for other consoles too.
Started on PS3
Never even thought to download those.
and Vita. I got almost my entire Vita collection is from PlayStation Plus.
Interesting.
Mostly before I ever got a Vita.
Yeah, I'm sure you could guess. I'm not gonna play this game.
No.
This is not my genre or my forte, but people seem to be stoked about it. Did I what?
Did you play Fallen Order?
Yes.
Had Souls-like gameplay.
I know, but that's Star Wars.
I know. I'm just kidding.
And that's
Well, I'm not
literally
kidding,
the only reason.
Yeah.
But no, that's not true. I liked the gameplay of it.
So the reason the Souls games are so important, and I've seen a lot of people say Dark Souls is the game of the decade because of what it did for the industry.
That's crazy.
Because it changed video games, and that's why I need to play these games, because what they've done, if we look back 10 years ago at 12 years ago, say, combat video games gameplay had become quite stale and generic, and it was just kind of formulaic. And from what I've heard, because I've not actually played these games, so I can't speak for myself, is it gave depth to it. There's a reward to the gameplay because it doesn't cheat you. You have to do the thing.
Treats
but if
you
you
fair.
do the thing,
It treats you fair.
It's fair
It's
in
hard.
its systems. It's hard. You have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
But it's some of the most gratifying moments that people have ever experienced playing a game. And the reason I've stayed away is I just don't want to grind for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. But
just to say you beat it.
The thought of a challenge, one that's so rewarding. I really want to play Bloodborne now, but I'm gonna wait for PS5 just because of what I've heard based on performance.
Yeah.
I want to play Sekiro.
You have it, right? Didn't you start it?
Bloodborne was a PlayStation Plus game, so I've never started it.
I might have it too. Okay, I thought you started it at some point.
So I intend to play that on PlayStation 5. I think I'm just gonna save Sekiro for PlayStation 5, and I'm gonna play this.
I have a weird question.
Yeah.
Is Cuphead Souls-like?
No. Cuphead's just hard.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
Cuphead goes more retro in terms of like bullet hell.
Okay.
Is that the right? I think that's the right.
I completely know what you mean by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping and dodging the bullets and the 2D plane and this stuff. Yeah. This is 3-dimensional.
Have you played Cuphead?
No, but that was going to be one of the ones that we played. Ooh,
right. Okay.
Pretty on this.
Let's
TV.
do it. Can we do it?
Graphics. Yeah.
Whenever we can. Can we do that?
Let's find a way to do that.
All right. Cool.
So the landscapes that they showed in this trailer, introing it in, like obviously the setting, the demons and all of that stuff, like not super anything that I'm really into.
I didn't like the body being carried by the giant eagle or whatever it was. Didn't enjoy that.
Did not get to see what it was.
Is that the case?
Terrified. That was.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Flying demon manta rays. That was cool.
I don't like that phrase at all.
Yeah, I know.
That's horrifying.
But there's just something about this next gen of like the power of these graphics that I just want to witness.
Sure.
And that's kind of why I'm staying open.
You have a lot more patience for video games when it comes to stuff like that. Like I don't like the demon evil dark stuff. I'm pushing it when I am considering like 2016
Doom.
Doom. I'm pushing it with that, but just because of how much, again, you've hyped it up, like I want to see what's going on with that. But
Doom,
this game just
you
doesn't
end up
intrigue me.
thinking less about the characters and more about the gameplay. Like that's what it ends up being about.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't want to fight witches with their guts hanging out and
Ew,
stuff.
no.
I don't
God,
even know if
no.
that's in there, but like
That sounds horrible. Why would you
I've
say
also,
that?
I've also heard a lot of the IGN guys. Brian Altano, he's talked about Bloodborne so much that I'm just like I have to play this game.
Yeah. I don't know
And
if
if
Andy was joking, but he said it was his favorite game of all time. I think he was slightly
Blood,
exaggerating. Yeah.
a lot of people say that.
That's crazy.
It's people have said that beating that game is one of the greatest feelings in life they've had.
Wow.
Like and that's what made me go like I have to play this. Like this is insane.
Yeah.
Like I've had that feeling where you have a challenge and a challenge and a challenge and you beat it. And this is apparently the bar.
Question.
Yep.
So, games that you download for PlayStation Plus. So, you download Bloodborne for PS4 via PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Come PS5.
Yeah, you have it.
With PS5 performance?
We don't know. That's going to be a game by game basis as to we still don't even know how their upgrade system is going to be. If they have a version of Smart Delivery where they make a PS5 version and then you get that version, or you can just run it in PS4 Pro Boost mode.
Okay.
And that's what we're still waiting to see.
Okay.
How they're going to do that.
Gotcha.
But let me just remind, PlayStation was like, hey, we're going to show you some stuff, but just know that that's not it. We got a lot more stuff to show you.
Yeah. I also
Like,
just realized that these colors that we've been doing this entire time, what is yellow? Yellow's not a PlayStation color. Oh, it is in the logo, right?
Yeah, I think it's there somewhere.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to be orange for the buttons.
Oh, well.
Sorry, I'm feeling it right now, so.
No, you're good.
I'm just observing new things. What game are we on?
It's just kind of a loop of death. I'm not super into all these like first person shooter after first person shooter after first person shooter, but this looks good. This looks interesting.
So,
What?
what's this one called?
Deathloop.
This is my game.
So I was hoping you were gonna say that
I'm stoked for this game.
So this is Arcane. This is the people that make Prey, that made the last Prey.
Okay.
And so I could definitely see myself playing this because I'm into the story. And
just I might be presuming too much about what the game is going to be, but
Yeah.
like it at first wasn't super into it. But when it turned into this like Groundhog's Day, in order to beat the game, you have to do this day flawlessly. I love that idea. And I don't know if that's exactly what's going to be. It may. I know I said earlier I want a game to hold my hand. Like I want to master this game to a point where like you have to figure out how to do this perfectly. I don't want it to guide me through it. I want to figure out how to assassinate all these people in a day and survive in order to beat this game. That sounds awesome.
So
and everyone could do it differently.
Arcane is one of the last surviving studios that makes a genre called immersive sims. And the kind of tenet that these games are made with is interactivity, agency, and the ability to kind of make your way. So no, it will be, how do I want to do this?
That's awesome.
And I love, I'm totally with you that the concept, the story, like I need that like ground, that context, that grounding.
Yeah.
And this is cool. And I was into the art style and
the functionality, the like the force using of like that was so cool. Plus gun wielding. Like it's push this guy, shoot him with a shotgun. That sounds awesome.
And there's another assassin.
Yeah, that you can maybe play as?
They hinted that at the end. So I'm super curious about that. So whereas the trailer started, and I think you were saying you had a similar sentiment, and I was kind of like, by the end of it, I was like, okay. You have my attention.
This might sound weird, but like the vibe that this gave me to like a mature degree was
Yeah.
a little bit Sly Cooper. It's like Sly Cooper, and then Carmelita Fox is your counterpart who's always trying to fight you and combat you. Obviously, different game mechanics and everything story, but like I could see this being my like adult new like one of my favorite games. This
with
was
you.
super, super intriguing to me.
Imagine if we can play it together.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Deathloop.
We'll keep an eye on this one.
Can't wait for Deathloop.
I just love the concept.
Yeah. Have you seen I don't know what the official title is anymore. Edge of Tomorrow / Live Die Repeat with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt.
I wanna.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'll have to find it on a streaming service.
What's
so the
next?
emoji I gave for this next game.
What'd you give for that one, by the way?
Thumbs up.
Cool.
This next game I gave the clapping emoji. Bravo. I will not play this, but bravo. Well done. This was beautifully debuted. Because you kind of think you know what it is, but you're kind of not sure. And if you're a diehard fan of this franchise, this was a ride. I know this was a ride and a trip because the setting is new and the setting is different. It's back to the first person. And then by the end of the trailer, it goes Village. And I was like, because I was expecting a certain name. And it goes Village. I'm like, what? And then it fades out,
it shows you.
I'm like, I love it. Just for
Resident Evil 8.
And I'm so happy for the whole Resident Evil franchise for Capcom, and that
they're getting so much content.
Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, you get 2 remaster, 3 remaster, and then when does this come out?
7 in
Right.
VR.
Right.
Now 8. And the next rumor is that 4 is being remade.
That's so wild.
5 and 6 probably don't need to be
7 was
remade.
just called Resident Evil 7, right?
Yeah.
No subtitle.
Biohazard?
But the 7 was cleverly put into Resident Evil.
I think so.
I like their use of like Roman numerals in the titles. That's really fun.
Resident Evil Village? I don't even know what to say. Like,
I'm not like 100% put off. I like the sort of old-timey werewolves and like Transylvanianness. Like,
these games are. I've heard 7 is one of like nightmares for weeks.
Yeah, not into that. And it's a bit too modern. I don't like modern horror. A little bit more like old school, might read it in the storybook kind of horror. I'm more intrigued by, which is what this looks like. But this seems to have like flashbacks or something, right? Like some of it looks modern, and then you go back into this like old.
It's definitely current day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. It's current day.
It looks very old for some of it
because they're in like an old abandoned place with like. Oh, I can't. Nope, I can't do it. It's gonna be VR.
I will never. What?
Yeah, Resident Evil 7 was VR.
Oh, this game will be. I thought you were saying this game in VR is what it will take for you to play it. I'm like, are you insane?
I've never put that on my face.
No, of course not. I will never just play that, period. But I'm happy for you, Resident Evil people. I bought Resident Evil 2 remastered just to see what the hype was. Yes.
I would play 2, I would play 3, I would play 4. I don't need to play 7 or 8 in this. That's too much for me. The first person, it's too much.
I trust people from longer ago making a horror game than I do people right now. Because you might kill me.
Who, me?
With how scary it is.
Oh, yeah. But that was a moment where I was like, okay, this presentation is off the chain.
Yeah.
Like they're just banger after banger after banger after banger. And then that was the end. They didn't show anything else. The conference ended there, and you didn't see anything else from other things that you've not finished playing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was going to ask you, I'm like, I was going to ask, tell me if I need to avoid Horizon spoilers. To be fair, I don't know what is a spoiler and what isn't at this point. I know there's a sequel coming, so this doesn't really change anything for me. There weren't any characters that were like, huh, that person should be alive or dead. All I saw was Aloy, so, I mean, I'm cool. I'm chilling.
You're cool? You're chilling?
Perfectly.
Nothing
100%.
hit you in any way? Okay.
I may not be far enough into the game to where it should have hit me yet. I'm good.
Great.
I'm fine.
That's a great sign.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna just talk a little vaguely about it. First of all, finally everybody can stop saying Horizon Zero Noon or
Horizon
whatever.
2 Dawn.
2 Dawn, like shut up. It was always gonna be Horizon 2 with a new subtitle. I love Forbidden West. That's just a nice wordy title of things that
the same way Zero Dawn is.
Yeah, it's perfect. Now the rumor is that Guerrilla's been ordered, or Sony's ordered a trilogy from Guerrilla.
Cool.
Which makes sense. Uncharted got 3. This just feels like the right kind of trilogy.
Yeah.
I gave this a clapping emoji, 3 stars, a heart, 2 thumbs up, a heart, and a praise to the sky.
Okay. As far as just video games go, like near the top is God of War, right? If not the top.
Oh no, God of War's at the top.
Is the top. Horizon's not far below, right? Okay.
I forget how amazing the game was.
Like you are very hyped for this game.
Because I know what Guerrilla is gonna be doing.
Capable of, yeah.
This confirmed it.
Yeah.
This is gonna be it's Jason Schreier said it. This is the most beautiful game ever made now.
Without even knowing the story or how it ends, like this, even just the hint of the story of this one looked super intriguing to me. Yeah, I know the premise of Aloy, like I get what she can do. Like this looks really, really cool.
It's gonna be massive. This game is gonna be massive, from the biggest worlds to the smallest details. And it's going to be gorgeous, and it's going to be lived in, and I think and hope it's going to be inspired by Breath of the Wild in terms of traversal and the ability to move through this beautiful environment. I have no idea what's going to happen, but
so not that the first one would have been inspired by Breath of the Wild, but are they not similar?
Came out a month before Breath of the Wild.
Right, but are they not similar in their traversal capabilities? No.
I intentionally skipped Horizon, knowing Breath of the Wild was coming out. I didn't want to burn myself out right before. I then tried to play Horizon. I jumped into Horizon then after playing Breath of the Wild, and the inability to like climb up anything I want just felt archaic already and clunky.
Yeah.
I fully expect to be able to climb pretty much anything in this game.
Sure.
To a reasonable degree. But just in terms of the ability to move through 3D space and explore, they showed it. You can dive underwater now, and it's freaking beautiful. Pretty sure you couldn't do that in the first game.
I love the idea that this game is in the far future, to where we've gone back to like primitive, almost tribal mentalities with futuristic tech. Like that's such a cool freaking concept. And at the end of this, you see like a bridge that almost looks like the Golden Gate Bridge. I mean, it probably isn't, but like you're in a world that we would recognize in a tribal setting with futuristic tech. So cool.
That much you've figured out from the first game?
Yes.
Okay, that was my fear.
Oh, cool.
So, okay. So, yeah, keep playing, because there's definitely more to it. But
it will be a while. Like, I'm going to play Last of Us, then Last of Us 2, then probably Ghost.
You've got time.
Yeah.
Because I've been saying this will be a launch game, and they didn't seem to hint at that.
They didn't say it all, right?
I think it'll be early next year.
Okay.
We'll get Spider-Man, we'll get a couple other things, and then a few months after, February, next year, which is it'll be 4 years to the first game. I think we'll get Horizon 2.
So if Spider-Man Miles Morales is not a full game,
It's not.
is that enough to be a launch game, or do we not know what the launch game is yet?
Along with other stuff. There's never been a launch game of like
For PlayStation, you mean?
they had Killzone Shadowfall, but like not everybody
Because like
wants
Breath of the
first person.
Wild being a launch game for Switch is unbelievable.
Changes the industry.
That's why I feel like they have to do this, no? Like, don't they have to have a massive game?
Xbox will have Halo.
So like, what is PlayStation gonna do?
Juggernaut, and that's why I thought it'd be Horizon for sure. I was like, for sure, Horizon's going to be at launch.
Are they still
maybe
holding on to something? Because like, you can't. Of the three, like Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation, like those are consecutive console releases.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the one that didn't have like a banger of a release title.
Spider-Man Miles Morales could be.
And I guess you won't know until people play it.
That's the thing.
So the hype of it will be there probably.
It has the potential to be. If it's a 4-hour game, no. If it's a 15-hour game, yes.
Okay.
It'd be nice to get a 50-hour game, though.
I mean, what's the first Spider-Man? Not even close to that, right?
15 to 20. But Halo's going to be huge.
Did not spell that correctly at all. 25 hours.
There you go.
50, that's a lot. I don't know if I've played a 50-hour game.
We got to change that.
Oh, I'm going to get Halo. That will be my first Halo. It'll be my first Xbox.
I know. I can't. I'm going to drop this in just real quick, but apparently Halo might have, this one might do 120 frames.
Interesting. Has any game done that?
PC games.
Whoa.
But this is unprecedented. But this is the whole point.
What was that Will Smith movie that we saw?
I don't even know how that worked, actually. 240?
Was it 240? What was that even called?
Generic action movie? Oh my god, 120.
It was 120, right? It was.
Can my TV do that then? Can I watch that movie? But I don't have 3D.
No, I don't know if it can.
My TV can do 120.
Can it? If you set it to that, or
no, because it's coming. It has HDMI.
If the content is 120, it'll do it.
It's the content, so that's why I'm going to be able to play Halo at 120 on this thing.
Cool.
Which I can't even fathom what that's going to be like. I'm going to just slowly morph into it.
I'm very excited to finally find out what Halo's about.
That's what Maya was playing tonight?
I was having this debate with coworkers, and I agree it's not fair because a lot of the games I was defending, I haven't actually fully played myself. But I was arguing that PS4 exclusives are better than Halo exclusives. And they were like...
Halo exclusives?
I'm sorry, Xbox exclusives. And they were like, look, Halo's the best game ever, hands down, period. And I was okay.
Shut up. Not you,
but
them.
Let me just name you some PS4 exclusives just that you can't play on your Xbox, just like this. Uncharted, Last of Us, God of War, Horizon, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, yeah, but Halo. I'm like,
you know why?
Haven't the last 2 or 3 games not been good at all? And they're like, yeah, but just Halo in general. They're just like, just Halo. I'm like, I don't know, man.
They've not played them. They played Halo. They've not played the other ones. Period.
And I can't talk about Halo because I've played 2 games of multiplayer of Halo. Period. That's it. I can't talk. I don't get it.
Taking nothing away from it. It's a first person shooter though.
Yeah.
Arguably the best first person shooter. Probably. I haven't played it enough, but I'm excited about it. I understand it.
Would it be like saying that the campaign for a Call of Duty game is the best exclusive content you have for your console? That's sad.
I don't want to hate on Halo. That's not what I'm.
Your fiance might hurt you if you do.
0. No, I'm not. No, that's not what I'm saying. But it's like we've been playing Last of Us.
Yeah.
I'm already realizing she's already like, this is like, I want to keep playing.
Yeah.
Like it went from I don't want to play, I'm scared, to can we play?
Right.
Until you play it and realize, but some of those people might just be like, this is stupid, and this is stupid the whole time, not actually like even opening themselves up to the possibility.
And I genuinely hope the new Halo game is that for this console and this generation for those people.
So hyped for it.
I hope it ends up being that. But to say that Xbox is better because of Halo, period, like, no, man. That's so weak.
Yeah, it's pretty weak. Now, I will say that the reason that Halo has this reputation is it changed everything when it came out.
It's very inspirational. Like it's definitely deeply rooted in the gaming industry for sure.
Storytelling in games, like having like big set pieces and cutscenes. Like I didn't get to experience that, but like from what I've heard and read, and that's what it did. And then Halo 2 took that up to a whole nother level. But that was 2004.
Yeah.
You can't keep going with that. Even Last of Us in 2013, which was like the last bar, it's like it got usurped
Right.
by God of War. And it will be up there until something takes it down. Horizon 2 could.
We'll see.
But even still, what they did with that, you have to play God of War, my God.
I know. Oh boy, what a day.
What a day. This is a day to be remembered.
So I would just like to say screw you to my job because I really would have loved to have watched this live with you. But this might actually be
It worked
a little
out.
better. We got
worked
to
out.
dive a little deeper into it than we probably would have right after.
And I got to have my moment of just pure, unadulterated, I mean, I literally was like, Maya, do not talk to me for an hour. And I sat there, I was shaking. And I was just like, oh my God, this was the little in between things with like the shapes. It was just like that. It was perfect.
So
It was
gorgeous.
so perfect.
That Spider-Man moment was pretty hype. That was pretty nuts. So
couldn't believe, because I never would have predicted anything Spider-Man. A small version.
not even anything.
Anything. I was like late 2018. It's been 2 years. There's no way they have something ready.
It's pretty early. Yeah.
There's no way they have something ready. And they
year and
worked
a
on
half,
DLC.
really.
And they year and a half, really. You're 100% right. And they did the DLC. And I figured they were working on the Ratchet and Clank, and that's clearly where the meat has been. But I think they have 2 teams now. And so we'll see how that evolves.
Because I was listening to Games Daily, and there was some sort of rumor or tweet that was like, before Spider-Man, that Insomniac has something else in store. But we still got Spider-Man first. Like, they showed... Yeah. Like, I think that was their project that they were working on before a new Spider-Man game, but they still showed Spider-Man before that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you mean today?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant 2018.
No.
Yeah. No, exactly. They did 2 things today. Crazy.
Yeah.
And then, oh man, it's exciting. It's just lots of exciting stuff. I want to see God of War in 4K 60 running on a PS5. I'll die. I'll die. No, now that this event has happened, I want details. I want to know what the create button does. I want to know about backwards compatibility. I want to know about how if we get PS5 versions. I want to know what the hell else this thing can do.
And that will be next, right? Specs will be the next.
Price, release date, pre-orders, dude. This is going to be. Oh, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm already stressed about it.
Why?
Because so many people want this thing. I'm really concerned about getting a pre-order.
Really?
Yeah, I've been worried. I'm really concerned about getting a pre-order.
I don't remember the PS4 being an issue. I know.
Part of what we talked about earlier. I'm hearing more and more people talk about it. Supply is going to be more limited than the PS4, and I'm really concerned about having one of these day one.
But okay, you even more so than me. Like, we are PlayStation super fans, right? Like, we'll be in tune. We'll be ready. More so than even the casual people who want one of these things.
I'm still worried about getting screwed up because we can't go wait in line at a store like we did with the Switch.
Did you listen to the game most hyped game launch episode or whatever, or of Gamescast, where they talked about like game launches and console launches and stuff? Like, if it comes down to it, we'll figure something out. We'll swindle our way into a line somewhere. We'll make a deal. We'll do something. I am not going to miss getting this thing in my hands night one. I missed my ex-girlfriend's birthday to get the PS4 in my hands night one.
This will be my first PlayStation launch.
Yeah. I have to have this.
PS2 I got as a consolation gift for being moved to India. The PS3 I got.
PS2 I got as a consolation for being sick. My dad was planning on giving it to me at some point, but I was homesick one day, and he's like, "Here, I gave you this. I got this for you."
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So PS3 I got after selling my PS2 and moving back to the States, and after having dreamt of it for 2 years probably. Oh, like night after night after night dreaming about it, hoping I'd get it for Christmas, not getting it for Christmas, and then just being like, okay, I got to get it for myself. How am I going to do this? I got to get enough money because the second I'm moving back to the States, I'm buying this thing day one. And I basically did.
Yeah, I bought the PS3 for myself too.
I think the first thing I did.
As a 7th grader.
Wow, that's awesome. That's legit. I wanted to get the PS4 at launch, but I was in college and I didn't have the money or the time really to do that. And I got really lucky. It was the closest I've ever gotten one to launch because it came out in November, and
November 5th,
I got it
16th. 15th or 16th.
I was less than 2 months. So I still consider myself like it's a launch, but I got it for my birthday, and I'll never forget that. And Maya helped with that. So it's like
I remember
crazy that. I think it was that long ago. What?
The crazier thing is that you guys have been together that long.
That's what I mean.
I know.
No, that's what I mean. Like, she went with me to get GTA when it launched on the PS3.
The PS3?
Hmm?
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And now guess what? It's coming out again on this console. Screw you, Rockstar.
No, don't, because a lot of people are saying that, but I'm like,
I don't mean it. I hope you have enjoyed the PS5 reveal night, I guess you can call it. We definitely enjoyed watching it. We enjoyed all the games. We enjoy looking at the console, that super sexy console. Man, I love that console.
It's an objectively great console.
Oh, it's so gorgeous.
At me. I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah, and what's the at? Exactly. Check our I don't know, find us somehow. Check the website or something. But if you have been watching, you can listen to us on the podcast app on Apple and other podcast streaming services very soon. If you've been listening, you can watch us on YouTube, the Hebrew Rebels channel, where we have Rebels React, where we talk about movies and TV shows that we like to watch and talk about. And we're starting to dabble with some gaming videos. We're going to get into that pretty soon. Ethan and I played Rocket League and Warzone the other night. Not that that's a video that you can watch, but we're going to try to make some gaming videos.
Just so you know, we did that.
Yeah. How'd you like Warzone?
Overwhelming.
Yeah, definitely.
When everybody's like ready to Twitch shoot you in the face and kill you, and you're just figuring out how to walk. Yeah.
Probably streaming on Twitch, yeah. But I've got nothing else. My name is Jordan.
And my name is Ethan. We are the Hebrew Rebels.
Till next time.
Welcome to the rebellion. infinity is possible.